Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Big Wild Opinion back with another live video. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that share. Most importantly, make sure you sub to the channel so you stay in tune with what's going on. When we talking about what's going on, I hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving. What's up, Nene? Hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving. Didn't eat too much. And if you ate too much, hopefully you hit that gym on Friday. Worked it out. Um Not sure if many of you all participated in the Black Friday activities, uh, knowing that knowing what this Black Friday um origin, just the origins of Black Friday originated from. So hopefully, a lot of people didn't get out and participate in that, you know, um, racist climates. They have, you know, they got us participating in these racist activities, you know, but yeah. Um, I just been sitting around chilling, man. Just sitting around chilling. I took a vacation, came to see my son. We've been kicking it, been having fun. Uh, Long overdue. So the most important, I ain't been able to get back. I ain't been able to get to my laptop and be on my do my lives like I normally would do on schedule. I've been seeing some news going around, little articles, with uh stuff, articles going around about R. Kelly and things going on with his case. I've been seeing articles going on about Shaquilla Robinson. I've been seeing stuff about that. Um, what else have I been seeing? I've been seeing a lot of stuff throughout the media though, but I don't know. Uh, Really, just came on here to check and see what everybody got going on, how everybody enjoyed their holiday. Was for the most part, did everybody enjoy the holiday festivity? Christmas is gonna come so fast. Christmas is finna be coming so fast. It's gonna be as though Thanksgiving never happened. Shoot, they had Christmas decoration out way before Thanksgiving decoration. So the time is flying, man. The time is flying. Most definitely, the time is flying. Hope everybody got to see family. Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where family come together. And you see your old drunk uncles and your drunk cousins and all that good stuff. So yeah, uh I wasn't with family, like my family for the holiday, but I did get to come see my son for a holiday, so that was a blessing. And I'm looking forward to traveling for Christmas to go and see my daughter and my son as well. So I look forward to the holidays, to having a good time and just catching up. Showing love with the people that love me the most. So yeah. So let me see. It was something that I did come across yesterday while on here. It said I seen something that said Shanquilla Robinson had a son. I was like, wow. If I'm not 100% sure how true this was, but if this was the case that this young lady did have a son, man, that's even crazier, man. That these people would do such a thing. Like, we're living in a world where people don't even have a heart anymore. I mean, people don't care. Like, we living among so many careless people nowadays, man. There's so much going on. Um, Oh man, I mean, when I read this and I'm like, this girl actually had a son. Like this shit is crazy. Like they don't, man. What up, Trevor? Yeah, this is crazy, man. But I don't know, man. Dennis, it's a tricky situation. This case is so tricky with where the case took place at, where the incident took place versus the people being from the U.S. But this incident took place in Mexico. So man, it's like I don't know, man. It's so crazy. But if those were celebrities, man, if this young lady was a celebrity, or if the young lady was a celebrity from the U.S., or if the people who did it was celebrities from the U.S., they will be moving. They'll move way faster to do something about the incidents. Because they know it'll generate money, it'll generate funds. Like this situation right here is not gonna really generate nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? Yet alone, like it's crazy that this young lady had to lose her life the way that she lost her life. But nowadays we see that the government system is operated based upon money, values. Um, we look like it looks like the R. Kelly saga is turning over a new leaf. You know, when I read some of the documents that I be seeing, I read some of the things that I've been seeing throughout the media, and uh, it looks like something that we've been talking about for quite some time is that, you know, that narrative is starting to die down. In the R. Kelly case, it looks like the narrative is starting to die out. It seems like the people are starting to wear down. Um, their fight ain't the same. Their fight don't have as much strength behind it as it had at one point. The world is starting to see that the bull and the BS in it involved in it. And the other night I did a live and J Rock was on here and we was discussing as far as Chicago dropping the case or whatnot. And man, he said something that was real. He just said something that was real interesting. As far as he spoke about if Kim Fox go forward with this trial, this trial be publicized, and if this trial is publicized, it will furthermore expose a lot of the corruption that's going on within the Chicago case. So uh he made a statement as far as like, a reason why Kim Fox may want to drop the case is because she don't want the case to go public and be on television. And I was like, wow, I never looked at it like that, but it make a lot of sense because this whole R. Kelly's situation they have been wanting to keep private for quite some time. Um, I was like, wow, that made a lot of sense. That made a great deal of sense when he said that. And then they don't want this case to go publicized, televised. And man, what up, Malik? What up, Malik? Then I go through I read my comments a lot, that I get in my I get comments a lot. And this comment that somebody left on one of on a live stream that I did a couple weeks ago. The guy left a comment. And I don't know, man. I don't be understanding what people be reading, or I don't understand what people be looking at. But this guy left a comment. He say they did not get married in Illinois, and a party could have been a private wedding. but but the thing with this comment is, this comment was so funny to me. It like I asked him, I'm like, "What's your point?" But what made this comment so funny to me is the simple fact What made this comment so funny when I read it is if you look in the top left hand corner, this alleged marriage certificate says Cook County, Illinois. So I'm like, what up, Linda? I'm like, so why would you come and comment? Why come and make a comment under somebody why make a comment under someone commentary and say such a comment as if such a comment like the marriage didn't happen in Illinois. If the marriage didn't happen in Illinois, why the hell would the marriage certificate have Illinois on it? Come on, man. You gotta make it make sense. This shit ain't hard to understand. This shit is not that hard to understand. If the marriage didn't happen in Illinois, it wouldn't have fucking Illinois on the certificate. I mean, that's simple. That's simple shit. Like that's some, even though we know the marriage was all a, a BS host, we know about this whole little uh we know about this whole little situation, man. But you know, it is what it is. People gonna believe what they want to believe. Uh, at the end of the day, the facts is gonna be the facts. The facts is gonna always be there. I believe in the facts and letting the facts out, letting the facts speak for themselves. But man, man, I also seen something the other day, just strolling along. What's up, Aunt Huh? Man, I seen what the Hebrew Israelites, man, like 1,000, 1,000. I think it's like 1,000 Hebrew Israelites surrounded the Barclays Center in New York. I'm like, wow, like man, I really man, they really came out and made a statement. They really came out and made a statement. Um, by surrounding that Barclays Center, trying to send them with trying to send a message to the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. Man, I'm like, one thing about it, man. One thing I know, and one thing that I've been talking about for the longest is unity, man. If our people were to ever come together and stop the fuss and stop the fighting, stop going at each other, stop killing each other, you know, we do so much harm to each other, but then we sit back and want to tell other people, like, oh, y'all wrong for doing this. Y'all, how can we tell another race of people that they wrong for doing this or they wrong for doing that? But then we turn around and we're doing the same thing that we're calling somebody else wrong for. That's something that never made sense to me. That never made sense to me. And we want the world and we want the people of this world to respect us as a culture and as a race. We must first respect ourselves. We must first have to clean up our own act. We must first stop killing each other. We must first stop abusing each other. We must first stop stealing from each other. We have to set the tone. We have to set a standard. We gotta have morals. We gotta have principles. You know, we have to have things that we put in front to say, look, this is us and this is how we come, this is how we stand. Once we clean up our own image as a race and as a culture, then these other people is not going to have no other choice but to respect us. No, we the smallest of the population, but we spend the most money within the population. We the smallest, but we spend the most money in the population. Man, when they say a dollar don't last fucking less than a second in the black community, but that same dollar, when you put it in any other ethnicity, any other group of people, you put a dollar in their community, that dollar is spent almost 10 to 15 times before it goes outside of the community. So make that make sense. Look at those type of things. Like our people, we still praising the Gucci, we still praising the Burberry, we still praising, all these high fashion, high end designer clothing and things like that. We still want to have the Mercedes Benz, we still want to have the Lexus, we still want to have all these high end material things, and really not looking at the real understanding. They put all of this shit in place for us to be materialized by. This is what the oppressors want. They want us to feel like we have accomplished something just because we can move in that big house on the white folks side of town. They want us to feel accomplished by things that has no meaning to it. You know what I'm saying? Just because we get that brand new 2022 uh 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 Jeep Wrangler or something, all this shit that they done made us sit up here and idolize materialistic shit mentally. They didn't put us in a mental standpoint to where we idolize materialistic shit. We feel good when we've been in winning the mall and spent $2,000-$3,000, but we got delinquent bills. You know what I'm saying? They want us to feel good when we going out buying a brand new car, but we ain't even got the fucking insurance to put on it. We can't even afford the insurance to go on the car. They want us to feel good when we go out and buy the fucking Michael Jordans, and we go out and buy the Balenciaga. We go out and do all this shit. Go out and spend five, six, $700 on a pair of shoes, but then we can't even figure out what our kids gonna eat. But all you can say, oh, I got them Balenciagas. Oh, I got them new Jordans. Your child putting on brand new $200 pair of Jordans, but go to school, can't even read, can't write, can't add, because guess what? You out here working like a goddamn slave, and not able to be at home to help your child with their mental development. You can't help your child with their homework. You don't even have a conversation with your kid to see if they doing good in school or not, because you out here working to make sure your child got the best of the best, the newest of the newest, but your child go to school looking like a fashion expert, but dumb as hell mentally. They have mentally succeeded in brainwashing us to making us feel like material things is worth more than the core value. How do you value materialistic things over your core values? The most important thing we can be teaching our children right now is reading, learning, understanding, because that's the power. That's the knowledge. The knowledge is to be able to read. Knowledge is to be able to understand. The knowledge is to be able to do math. The knowledge is to be able to understand science. They know that we can understand this shit. They know that we know this thing. They know that we know these things. They know that we are capable of learning these things, but they put the materialistic shit in front of us and make us reach for that, other than reach for to pick up that book. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Right, and her, man. Oh, and her just said a lot. Kids don't know the ABCs, but know whole lyrics to rap song. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Kids walk around with diapers on, can't even tell when they go to the bathroom. But they can sit here and sing a whole Cardi B song. They can sing a whole Glorilla. I'm Free. That's the only way they be able to spell. Because you want to teach them something, you got to put it into a song format for them to learn. I'm Free. They don't even know nothing about none of this, but they singing it. It's crazy, man. Why I know this to be factual. However, how can we come together every time one of us rise to the occasion? Our own people sell us out. Of course, I agree. I agree with that too. We seen it. We seen it. But the thing about that, Linda, when the people sell us out, when the people sell us out, we have to bar those people from our protection. So when someone stands up and rise up against the oppressor, and people choose to sell out and not be with us, we have to cast those people away from us. because those are the people that when you look at it, you look at Martin Luther King wasn't killed by a white. He wasn't killed because of a white person. He was killed because of a black man that he trusted. Brother Fred Hampton wasn't killed. He was killed by the federal government, but guess what? He was set up by a black man who he trusted. When we look at all of our people, whoever stood up against the oppressor, they were set up by somebody that looks like them. They was made to be comfortable by someone who looks like them. So when people come out and speak against somebody that speaks out against the oppressor, we have to disown those people. We can't trust those people. You can't come back when you call Kyrie Irving an idiot. You can't come back and apologize and think you're gonna be able to just walk back into our community and it's gonna be okay. No, that just ain't gonna happen. You just can't come back over here like that. Because we need you to keep that same energy when you didn't understand what Kyrie was saying, but you went out and made a statement. We need you to keep that same energy now that you understand what Kyrie is saying, but you can't take back your statement. People, the thing about this whole thing is we have to be slow to speak. We have to be slow to speak when things are going on in this world. We have to be slow to speak and eager to understand. We have to understand because once we understand, then we know how to react. But a lot of times our people react without understanding, which causes us to look stupid, right? That's the problem. We react without understanding, which causes us to look stupid. Versus understanding, then reacting. But that's the way that they want us to look at shit. But a lot of people take this shit and they take it with Kyrie. They take it with Kanye. But I'm telling y'all, of the present time, R. Kelly was the first person all of the black community turned their back on, talking about this man, down this man, purely off of accusations. Accusations. When you got people out here like Kanye West exposed, who controlled the narrative? That has been something that I have been saying since I came on these YouTube streets. Who controlled the narrative? The people put these narratives out. They put these narratives out, and then guess what? When they can put a narrative out in the white community, but white people, they protect their own. White people are not going to let you trash their own. They are still making movies about Elvis. They are still praising Elvis. They still love Elvis. Elvis is not canceled nowhere because white people are not going to let you tear down their heroes. But when it comes to our community, our culture, man, look, anything, if the person is disliked, if the person is disliked, if a person is disliked in the black community, it is so easy for somebody to lie on them, and that lie will go from one neighborhood to the next neighborhood to the next neighborhood, cross town, from cross town to another state, from another state to across the country, from across the country to around the world. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. But when you hear shit like Charlie Sheen in Hollywood giving women HIV, you don't hear that shit. That shit didn't make it nowhere. When you hear all of this shit that goes on in the Caucasian community, that shit don't last. It don't get the type of movement. It don't get the type of action. Because when it comes to our community, the I hate to say black, but when it comes to the black community, gossip spreads like motherfucking wildfire. Gossip spreads like wildfire. Our people love to hear somebody down. And the black community, they love to tear each other down. In the black community, they love to see the fall of somebody. In the black community, they hate you for no reason. Man, I don't like that nigga. Man, why you don't like him? Man, I just don't like that nigga. How you dislike somebody for no reason? Oh, that nigga think he too much. It's the same with the female. I don't like that bitch. That bitch thinks she too much. That bitch that. This is how our women talk to each other in the black community, right? But then our women will sit there and call each other bitches and hoes all day, back and forth. But then as soon as a brother walk up and say, "So, what's up, bitch?" Oh, motherfucker, you ain't gonna be calling me no bitch, but you just sat here for a whole hour, 2 hours in a conversation, calling yourself and the person that you're talking to a bitch. See, we have to stop. We have to stop being okay with shit when it comes to each other, but having a problem when it comes to another person. See, the respect doesn't start with someone else that walks up to you. The respect start with yourself. We must first respect ourselves. We must first value ourselves. We must first understand who we are. And once we understand who we are, then we value ourselves. Then we put respect on ourselves. Then therefore you demand respect. And nothing else is going to be accepted. What up, Lex? What's up, V White? See, a lot of our man, a lot of the shit that we do in our black community, man, the shit is ass backwards, man. We do shit ass backwards. We would degrade each other, then turn around and tell somebody else, you better put some respect on my name. Now make that shit make sense. You really have to make this shit make sense. We really have we really have to make this shit make sense. You know, but a lot of times, like man, a lot of the time, like me growing up and me being as young as I am, I'm just thankful and I'm grateful that I had grandparents that I had growing up that helped me understand and put things to perspective to where I wasn't so brainwashed in brainwashed. You know, I wasn't a kid. I didn't watch a lot of television growing up. I don't watch a lot of reality shows and none of that shit. So a lot of stuff I just wasn't privy to. So sometimes when I hear certain things and I see certain things, I be like, man, like I feel like I'm too much of an adult for certain things. Like I'm the type I don't like to argue in front of my kids or anything like that. So a lot of times I will get, oh, you nonchalant. Oh, you act like you don't care. Oh, you this, oh, you that. You know, it's not that I don't do this or I don't do that. It's just the psychological understanding that I have is that I don't want to make shit seem okay with my children that's not okay, that I'm not okay with. So, and that just goes back to a lot of this shit is saying like what our kids watch us. Our kids they watch everything that we do as adults. So of course if you arguing in front of your children, guess what your children gonna feel is it's okay to argue with their boyfriend. It's okay to argue with their girlfriend. It's okay. A lot of the shit that we do, we have to be mindful that who's watching us. And we are setting the tone for them. So if they come up watching us, you know, do certain shit and everything that we do that may not be good, guess what? Them bad habits they pick up. And those bad habits that they pick up are the habits that they take on with them throughout life. So at this point in life, we seeing where these bad habits have got us to where now we have a bunch of goddamn children running around here. They don't even have respect for elders anymore. I see little kids cussing out old elder people like it ain't nothing. I don't even see kids holding the door for elderly people. Asking these elderly people in the grocery store, ma'am, can I tote those bags for you? You need help? Like I sit here and watch certain shit. I just be looking, I'm like, damn. I remember a time when I was 13, 14 years old. If I'm in the grocery store and see an elderly person bagging groceries, ma'am, can I bag those groceries for you? Can I tote those groceries to your car for you? You know, or if I'm in my neighborhood and I see Miss Susan or Miss Sally pulling up in the yard, Miss Sally taking bags, let me go over here and help Miss Sally take these bags out of her car. Let me go over here and help Miss Susan take these bags out. You know, it's just certain things that I grew up doing that I knew like this was the proper thing to do. But now these young kids, they don't, man, be cursing these elderly people out like it ain't nothing, man. I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, who raising these kids? I think we have to have the mindset to be able to separate. And if you don't have the mindset, then you should not be watching it. Right, right. That's it. That's it. But a lot of people, but you just look at a lot of the stuff that's promoted though. Why do they promote so much ratchet shit on television now? They promote so much ratchet shit on television. I remember when television used to have things on there that knowledgeable things on there that you could learn from. Now it's only ratchet activity being promoted. They promote so much ratchet activity to us crazy. Like even the flavor of love. Like they got men on there searching for women, like dating 10, 15 women. They got these basketball housewives. Look at the shit that they promote into the black community. And these are the things that people take from it. And it's so crazy. And I do. Oh, I'm glad. I want to play this video. I got a video clip, and then I'm gonna drop my link. But I'm gonna drop this clip, and I want to know what y'all think about this clip. I want to know what y'all think about this clip. I'm finna play, and then I'm gonna drop my link, and I want to hear what y'all think about this clip. And it talks about this guy and this girl is having a conversation about dating, and I want to know what y'all think about this clip. I'm finna drop right now.
Hey, what's the question again?
Why do you think dating is hard?
Because of social media. Social media got these chicks thinking that they got options that they don't have.
Can I say something?
Hold on. So social media got these chicks thinking that they got something that they don't have. So they only fuck with niggas who got bread, and then turn around and be mad when them type of dudes who got a bunch of money want every bitch. These same bitches will turn around and pay Chris Brown $1,000 to take pictures with him. You feel me? See, hold on. They charge broke niggas to chill with them, but the more money you got, the less you got to spend. See, women only want to deal with dudes who don't have no opinion. That's why you see a lot of these bad chicks with these goofy ass, soft ass niggas who ain't gonna challenge them on nothing, who ain't gonna ask them no questions. Any man that got his own shit taken care of, don't need their money, don't need their pussy. They don't want to deal with a nigga like that. They want a nigga that they could talk to crazy and disrespect them because they don't want no structure. They scared of real men, you feel me? Because a real man ain't gonna let them talk crazy and do all that goofy dumb shit.
So modern day men are more feminine more than ever.
Definitely.
What you saying?
I said women don't like dudes who got their own, who don't need them. They rather deal with men who are not that intellectually aggressive, who gonna let them say what they want and do what they want. They rather deal with a man like, not saying you like that, but most women out here don't want to deal with a man who gonna say, baby, nah, don't wear that. Nah, baby, don't talk like that. They don't really want to deal with that. They rather deal with a dude who let them say and do whatever they want to do. And they think if a man be a man, he's toxic.
So my question was, do you fuck with a real woman?
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked
I'm
is because if you fuck with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this,
I respect that, baby.
nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hoes, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all. No, listen. I met a lot of women. It don't mean, I don't care if they from the hood. I don't care if they got two parents. Their interests are the same. It's like right now, right? If you see 10 lions coming down the street, are you gonna try to figure out which lion gonna bite your ass or not? You're gonna be like them 10 lions. So unfortunately, the real woman agree with too much shit that these hoes is on, so we don't know the fucking difference. Y'all gotta stand far away from the hoes, because y'all dress like them. Y'all wear the same shit they wear. Y'all listen to the same music they listen to. And y'all stand for the same shit they stand for. In most cases, not you, baby, but in most cases, the real women got too much in common with the hoes. Let me give you an example. We from the hood and all that. But a street nigga that's really out in the plug, that's really out there doing that dumb shit, he ain't got shit in common with me. So we look mad different. The women, y'all look too much, talk too much, and act too much like the bitches who ain't shit. So we don't know the difference. Okay, what's the question again?
Why do you think dating is hard?
Because of social media. Social media got these chicks thinking that They got options that they don't have.
Can I say something?
Hold on. So social media got these chicks thinking that they got something that they don't have. So they only fuck with niggas who got bread, and then turn around and be mad when them type of dudes who got a bunch of money want every bitch. These same bitches will turn around and pay Chris Brown $1,000 to take pictures with him. You feel me? See, they charge broke niggas to chill with them, but the more money you got, the less you got to spend. See, women only want to deal with dudes who don't have no opinion. That's why you see a lot of these bad chicks with these goofy ass, soft ass niggas who ain't gonna challenge them on nothing, who ain't gonna ask them no questions. Any man that got his own shit taken care of, don't need their money, don't need their pussy. They don't want to deal with a nigga like that. They want a nigga that they could talk to crazy and disrespect them because they don't want no structure. They scared of real men, you feel me? Because a real man ain't gonna let them talk crazy and do all that goofy dumb shit.
So modern day men are more feminine now more than ever.
Definitely.
What was you saying?
I said women don't like dudes who got their own, who don't need them. They rather deal with men who are not that intellectually aggressive, who gonna let them say what they want and do what they want. They rather deal with a man like
All right, now. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Let me see. Yeah, I dropped the link. I want to know what y'all think about that. Say, number one, untitled. Number two, being abused. So the next man they try to out talk them. 3, gold diggers. Have to recognize the real from the fake. Yeah, you have to. Man, I seen some. I was on here the other day, and I seen a guy. Y'all know how the guys be doing the little they be going around with the phone interviewing different things. So the guy, he was trying to talk to this lady, and she was like, he was dressed up like a regular Joe, but the dude, he was a like a multi-millionaire dude, and he was dressed up like a regular person, and he walking, he just walking around, walking up to random women like, hey, how you doing? Are you single? Can I get your number? Type thing like that. So the female's like, oh, why would I give you my number? You walking like, you don't even have a car, this, that, and the third. But she didn't know that the guy was feminine. So she just like, oh, why would I give you my number? You don't have a car, you don't doing nothing. You were just walking around, like, what are you doing? You trying to be a YouTuber? You like, yeah, I'm an up and coming YouTuber, this, that, and the third. Whole time the guy, he has a brand new like a CA Corvette parked at the gas pump, but it's just parked at the pump. It's just sitting there. So he walking up to the lady like he trying to talk to her and whatever. She's in a little I think she wasn't even in like a Mercedes or anything. She was just like a regular little Chevrolet Malibu or something. He's trying to talk to her. So long story short, he was trying to talk to her. She's like, oh, you up and coming YouTuber. Say, in order for me to talk to you, you would have to have something going for yourself. You have to be established, this, that, and the third, and I know you working out, you starting your YouTube, this, that, and the third. I wish you the best or whatever. Like, she kind of like turned the dude down. So if she got done pumping her gas, the guy go over and he hit like the little unlock button on the CA Corvette, like boop, boop, or whatever. So she seen when she realized that he was getting into that CA Corvette, she pulls her car around and pulls in front of the Corvette like, this your car? He's like, yeah. She's like, this not your car. He's like, yeah, this is my car. So he's like, well, how could I open the doors on the car if it wasn't my car? She's like, well, you said you was an up and coming YouTuber, this, that, and the third. So long story short, he goes off into telling her who he really is. Now her whole attitude, her whole demeanor has changed. Now that she know that this guy's a multi-millionaire, but it's the same guy that she just turned down. Like 5 minutes later, shit was so crazy. Like, but this is the society. This is what we're dealing with in this new society. Like, that goes to show like what we're dealing with in this new society, man. I don't think people like this shit is not about like people aren't out here really looking for the real or looking for the truth. People are It's a lot of these females. And I'm not gonna just say it's just females. It's a lot of females, it's a lot of guys that's out here looking for come ups. Like they're not out here really looking for somebody or looking for a soulmate or anything like that. Say this can also go for men as well. Low self-esteem rather go for ratchet women instead of good women. They think they're bored and not existing. Right, man. I agree, and I agree. It's a man. This new society with the way of society going right now, man, and dating and all different type of things like that, man. It's so crazy. Like it's so crazy. Like I don't know, man. It's like this money and different things like that has really like changed the whole diagram of dating. Like because now like people like, oh, if you ain't got this, you know, if you ain't got this, I don't want to date you. If you ain't got that, I don't want to date you. But like, who's to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? You might meet somebody who might not have nothing, but they may fulfill you and like they may fulfill you in ways that money can't fulfill you because it can't be just about money, but the way that society has made it seems and appear, you have to be, well off, or you have to have some type of money in order to, be qualified as a candidate when it comes to dating. What's going on, Malik?
Top of the morning. How's everybody? You touched on a few good points. First of all, it's a party now. It's a party now.
What up, Lex?
Good
What's up,
morning.
my brother?
Listen,
What's going on? Rise and grind, my brothers.
I'm gonna say Vi. I sent you a text. I know I shot you one the other day. I think I shot you one this morning. I just got a quick question on something. So, certain things we believe our ancestors stepped up and took the brunt of the punishment in order for us to live a better life and current, right?
Right, as far as society, as far as the way history predicted it.
Okay. But I noticed we still be having the same conversations. And I think was that really sacrifice or really what was it? Like some of the conversations that we keep having. And I learned one thing though. Everybody not gonna get it. So you can't take everybody with you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
That's what I feel like has happened though. The people that did make the sacrifices, people who did make the sacrifices and the ones who stood to the side, once the people made the sacrifices and became casualties, the people who was once standing to the side, they came back into the community. So you still got the same problem.
Okay. I wasn't looking at it from that perspective, but okay. I'll totally agree with that. But one of the things I wanted to say was I noticed you kept saying the oppressor. And in my personal opinion, we oppress ourselves.
Yeah, the oppressor could be anything that goes against direct movement, and that could be black, white, anything. It ain't
Okay.
It ain't gotta necessarily be a certain group of people. It's anything that goes against the direction.
Okay. That now that you clarified that for me, I got it now. Because I was like, I can't say it's a particular ethnicity, because usually, especially in the black community, it's a black on black thing.
Yeah, we are our biggest oppressor, to me. And that's why, I made the statement as far as like the way that we talk to each other, the way that we treat each other. A lot of the shit that we do to each other opens the door for the other people to come in. You know what I'm saying? If we don't open the door, no way that they can get in. But once we open the door, that's when the outsiders come in.
Okay.
That's absolutely right. That's why the whole world doesn't respect us in the sense that they respect their own culture. So our culture is probably the most disrespected culture out there because of our own doing.
I might get Kyrie on this one. I think it's the Jews. I think that they have it harder than we have it because they have it more together than we have it. And I'm sure that was kind of a little bit to swallow, but think about it. They have it harder than we have it because they have it more together. If we had it together, we really wouldn't have it so hard. Pause. Got some feedback from me, Lex?
I would concur to say that if that's the case, I guess it's not. I guess ours is more publicized than theirs is. I would say they have more of a power structure, even though you say that they are criticized or scrutinized more than ours are. I think that ours are more publicized than theirs is, if so to speak.
Okay, so I'll concur with that, but I think ours is more publicized because we don't have it together. And see, right. I knew I was going to get these comments right here. So Ms. Lavish talk. My first time meeting you, I'm Malik. So if you open your ears up, right, and take your fingers off the keypad and walk with me, you'll get what I'm saying. The reason why they have it worse than we do because they have it together. Jews spend money within. Jews are unified. If the black community had that same unity,
it's nothing but like I tell people, they took away the blueprint. They wiped away the blueprint, which the Black Wall Street wasn't just in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was Black Wall Streets throughout the colonies of this country. Black Wall Streets existed everywhere. It was a way of life that we lived at one point of time. But with the destruction of Black Wall Street, it kind of killed the whole, living within, buying and spending within your community. The Europeans took that concept from us.
Right.
They learned how to get rich and stay rich from our people. But now our people,
go ahead.
Now our people are the ones who are continuing to keep the rich richer, while we're not looking at like this. All we gotta do is look at the spending power that our people have.
But Val, you gotta remember this one thing. And true, we have the most spending power, but truth be told, brothers don't want to see brothers, or sisters don't want to see sisters come.
That's a big fact.
So if you open up a clothing store, right? The first thing somebody gonna do is come in there and say, "Oh man, I supported you when you was in the trunk, boy. Hook a brother up." But when you go to Macy's, you don't tell Macy's hook you up. If Macy's say that Christian Dior Sauvage is $160 a bottle, you're gonna put $160 plus tax on that counter.
Absolutely. So then we gotta go back and see where did it all start? The crab mentality, because back in those days with Black Wall Street, I mean, everybody was willing to help one another come up and kept that dollar in circulation. So if we want to go that route, we got to look and see where did it all start. To one man bringing the next man down, or the sister bringing the other sister down, to try to help the whole community. That's where the problem lies in. That
Well, if you follow the Black Wall Street model, it's several different versions of that said movie. So in the latest one, which you can watch on YouTube, when the two gentlemen wanted to get into real estate, that seems to be where the problem came in, because everybody didn't want to get into real estate. Now, if you know anything about building generational wealth, most people who have generational wealth, a lot of them either had real estate, or they were into dry cleaning, or they were into maid services. They were into a commodity that would always be in demand, because somebody always gonna want clean, somebody always gonna want their clothes washed, whatever. So with real estate being the thing, most of us don't understand the concept of real estate. You know, a lot of us think that it's about the building. It's actually about the property to
It's
which
the land. You gotta
the
buy. You gotta buy the land. The land is more. The land is more valuable than the building.
Right. That's like a lot of people think that the business of McDonald's is hamburgers and French fries. Until if you research thoroughly, even if you watch the movie Ray Kroc, he proved to you that the business of McDonald's wasn't them 10-cent burgers and 2-cent fries. It was the land. It was all about real estate. It was all about the land that the building sat on.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like you look at gentrification. Which gentrification is a big thing going on in the world right now. And when you look at the gentrification, they set this shit up. This shit is so thought out and so thoroughly planned. They know where all the hot spots at. They know all the dead spots at. They know where everything at. So when they setting up their establishments, it's like a big ass border. It's like Monopoly, man.
Yes, I would concur. But it's also more along the lines of, and for conversational purposes, I'll say the N word versus the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
You have some people who understand if you want to say for argumentative sake, the difference in the two, as one as being an action and one as being, I guess, a type of individual, if you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, that regentrification is beneficial on all aspects if you have a plan in mind. If you don't have a plan in mind, then you're going to look at it as though you're going to be left out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now would be the time for you to go into, I don't necessarily want to say entrepreneurship, but I'm sure you have some type of idea of something that you want to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the time you put it out there and, keep it going.
Yeah, that's a good point right there, and that's what we do. That's what we do as a culture. We know, and we feel as though in order to get on top, we have to bring the person that's on top down. You know what I'm saying? Like Malik, we done had this conversation before. What the hell is 1 million now? If you got 10 people and only one of them is a millionaire and the rest of them ain't even 1,000 now, how much power do y'all really have? Ain't no power there.
It's a
and for us, we create, and for our people though, we create competition within ourselves, right? So say if we got one, if it's 10 of us in a circle, and one of us is a millionaire, you got another person, you got one of us a millionaire, you got two or three of us may be 500,000 strong. You know, you might got another three or four that's 250,000 strong. You know, but that person that's sitting back that ain't even 100,000 strong. 9 times out of 10, if the right person come along, they can convince him to do some stupid shit to take out that millionaire. They can convince him to do some stupid shit to take out that 500,000 now. They can convince him to take out that 250,000 now.
You know that's that boy, goddamn. If you ain't a carpenter, we're hitting the nail on the head with that one. Pause. But you also got to look at this dynamic, and one of the things I'll say is, if you put 5 individuals in a room of different wealth but similar mindsets, we all could have the same net value at the end of the conversation.
Right.
But usually what happens is, like he said in Paid in Full, and I hate the quote. He say everybody want to be the man just cause, and sometimes being the man is not the position you need to be. If you look at it, you know, every superstar is a 1-2 punch. You had Jordan and Pippen, Magic and Worthy, Magic and Kareem, Stockton and Malone. You know what I'm saying? It's always a 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us, we get away from the basics. You know what I'm saying? And when you get away from the basics and you try to make everything stand out, you know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson was different. He came up with the crossover, and the crossover stood out. But that bounce pass and chest pass and backboard shot that Tim Duncan had got Tim Duncan 5 of them things. Paul.
Yeah, fundamentals.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So a lot of times we try to make complex moves in a simplistic time when all we need to do is just keep it simple.
There's something I used to say. I used to say in sports, right, Malik? And growing up where I grew up in Louisiana, where I grew up at, you know, a little country town, but you know when you grow up in the hood, you used to talent. In the hood, most athletes are naturally gifted, they're gifted, talented. Like some of the most talented people you knew was from the hood. But one thing my granddaddy used to tell me is you can't coach talent. And the reason why we used to lose to the white boys because the white boys was fundamentally sound. They was fundamentally sound. They wasn't gonna make the mistakes. They could be coached. Versus, you know, the boys, you know, we depend solely on our talent. You know, coming from where we came from, like where I come from, your talent, we depend on the talent. So we would go face teams and we would be like, man, ain't no way they gonna beat us. Man, them teams was beating our ass because they wasn't getting the penalties. They was making the right tackles. They were making the right passes. They were doing, you know, they were doing everything fundamentally sound. And when you look at it, like you say, man, Allen Iverson created that crossover, but Tim Duncan had them fundamentals that, you know, everybody knew that what they called him, the big fundamental. He was gonna do the right shit all the time.
Well, I wouldn't say you can't coach talent. Talent is
you have to be coachable. You have to be a coachable person. And most of the time, guys that like that with that real talent like that, they got the big head, you know.
Yeah, but you know, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in retrospect, like LeBron James is an athlete because he can play multiple sports, but he's naturally athletic. He has that talent, that zeal, that chutzpah, so to speak. You know, you have a lot of athletes. Bo Jackson, but Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Like, you know, if I'm correct, in Florida, for you to be even considered fast, one of the things you have to do is run and catch a chicken.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that y'all was saying, he was like, yo, do you really know how fast a chicken is?
Mm-hmm.
And then you fast forward, it's on YouTube. About 2 weeks ago, Terrell Owens races the track team at one of these colleges. And Terrell runs a full 440 at 48. And everybody is like, are you shitting me? He's like, what y'all think? I done lost this? And everybody's like, they out of breath. He's like, so we not going to go again? What we stopping for? But that's his God-given athleticism. Like, no homo, he's still chiseled up at 48.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the dynamics, what I noticed, especially a lot of us, is we are afraid to strengthen our weaknesses.
Right.
And we are also even more afraid to expose our strengths, meaning to pass on or to try to teach one something. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for me to ostracize you if I'm strong at my handwriting versus teach you how to have a better penmanship. Because see, these things go a long way and we don't realize it. Your penmanship, your mannerisms, your etiquette, how you approach it, enter a room. These are little things that we don't realize will get you into them doors.
Man, you just mouthful, bro. Cause hey, and not to cut you off, but I was seeing something about a few months ago with Deion Sanders. Hearing Deion Sanders, he was talking to his athletes, and telling them like, look, he was telling like, look, when class about to start, I don't want to get no reports of y'all wearing slides. I don't want to get no reports of y'all wearing shirts with no sleeves. You know, different things. Like people like, well, he being too hard on the kids, this, that, and the third. But Deion, like, look here. I know we got a nice, we got a big football team, but guess what? Some of these guys ain't gonna make it to the NFL. So if they don't make it to the NFL, at least they'll know how to conduct themselves as a young man when it comes to business out in this world. You know what I'm saying? Posture, all different types of things like that. Deion said, I better not hear about y'all being slouched down in your chair. Ain't no sitting in the back of the classroom. Man, and people like, oh, he too hard. I said, nah, that's crazy. How is he too hard by telling these students, athletes, what they need to be doing?
And see, one of the things I like about Deion is he gives it to you both sides of the coin. He's going to tell you, and for conversational purposes, he's going to teach you the stunt side, but he's going to definitely give you the educational side. And I say that to say that Deion was flashy, flamboyant. But if you ever listen to him, especially after he started getting professional and all that, he stopped talking them is, ain't, I'm, and yo's. He started to better articulate himself because he realized he was building the brand. He said, man, prime time came about in my dorm room in Florida State. You see, I had to do something different so I could stick out. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from Florida, where he was from, everybody was fast. Everybody was talented. But he wanted to be something different. That's like in one of his interviews, they say, here are your top 50 plays. He said, no, they're not my top 50 plays. They're the one you saw. My top 50 happened in practice when nobody was watching, when there was no cameras. But he teaches you, he wants them to understand that as great as your talent is, your humility is worth even more than your talent. I mean, at points, you're going to have time when you want to showboat if you get an interception or whatever. That's cool. But still be humbling enough to understand that your talent has got you this far. It's so much more you got to do. And you got to be a role model. You got to be a positive father. You got to be all these things wrapped up in one. Because a man's true judgment is what he does when nobody's watching.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, And like we said all the time, in the community, I definitely think we need to have more conversations. But again, it seemed like some of us want to be, oh man, that's the most sucker shit, yo. I ain't doing no talking, man. Well, hit that blunt, yo, Pat. And you like, damn, okay, you can hit the blunt and conversate, can't you? Oh man, boy, I ain't with that, you know. Our people, I'm good. Show them over here, you know. Well, I got a new Lexus, boy, I got to know some done. You sitting here like, so you realize the car you just brought that was $100,000 and already appreciated $20,000 when you took it off the lot, and another $15,000 when you changed the wheels.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. But
did you ask them what do depreciation mean? They don't even know.
I'm gonna tell you something. A businessman told me. He said, "Yo, I'll never buy a brand new car." And I said, "Why?" He said, "What's the purpose?" And I was like, "Well," he was like, and he made real good sense. He said, "If you go to a dealership, right? If you want to get the newest, latest, you lease a car." And I was looking at him. He said, "Because let's be clear, most people who are CEOs of big companies, if they got the big Benz, they're not driving the big Benz every day. They got a little Honda Accord that they're going to beat around town." And I was like, huh? He said, think about it. He said, you pay $3,000 for the car, maintenance and gas a year is probably, you know, a couple coins. He was just saying, like, realistically speaking, if you lease a car, you got 20,000 miles on your lease. He said, how many of you are going to drive 20,000 miles in recreational or just being out, being comfortable with your family or something like that within a year?
Right.
So he said, if that's the case, just lease the car. He said, because now in your lease, the maintenance and all that is covered in your lease.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He said, but if you want to do it another way, he said, just go to an auction, have a dealer go to an auction and get you a dealer car. You know how the maintenance was capped. All you're doing is just paying for it straight cash. He said, once again, now all you got is maintenance. He said, but either way, what sense does it make? He said, now, if you're talking a house, I can see, he said, but a car, because what was new this year ain't going to be new next year. He said that most of the times, all car dealers do is change the design of the headlights and add another design stripe to the side of the car. And I was like, he said, just think about it. Look at him.
You spot on that one, brother. I mean,
he said, so what you paying for?
An extra button or two.
Right. That's like look,
Right.
Look, check the same. Another guy in one of the tech channels I was on. He said, "How many of y'all went out and got the new iPhone 14?" And let's just say 100 people was like, "Yeah, I like the new iPhone 14." He said the only difference in the 14 and the 13 is the notification bar pops down like some new added pop down at the top of the phone now. So everybody was like, yeah, and you know, the camera. He said, well, what's really difference in the camera? Oh, it's maybe a little bit clearer. He said, well, how much clearer is it? Can you really see the clarity? Everybody was like, no. He was like, so you just paid a whole nother $1,200 just so your notifications drop down at the top of the phone? And people was like, yeah. He said, wait till the second software update come out for the iPhone.
That's what I was just about to.
He said, I guarantee you on the second update for the iPhone, that same goddamn option come available. He said, but look at how many people that ran out here and spent $1,200 for the newest phone only to have one thing change.
Hey, Maliki, then you got to always think about some of those people, those same people, they still paying on the iPhone 12 from the last 2 years ago.
Right. So you didn't doubled up. You didn't doubled up on the note because you ain't to pay the O and all. It's a guy who he sell computers. He programmed the Fire Stick for me. He still got an iPhone 8, and he knows that every year the last phone that comes on the Apple made comes off. So like you can't use the 5, 6, 7, and the 8s no more because the battery life has gotten shot to kaput. So the guy said, well, I like it because of the home button. He said, and my battery may be a little off. He said, but I can go get a new battery put in here. He said, I refuse to buy a phone that doesn't have a home button, and I'm accustomed to the home button. He said, just think about everything that they've taken away from you, but they've given you something else. He said, doesn't make sense. He said, they force you into buying a new device to stay relevant. He said, but it's the same device. That's like when I was shopping for a MacBook. A guy said this and I didn't understand. He said, you know why people buy new MacBooks? He said, because they don't have sense. Now, Lex, you may be computer hip, so when I'm gonna say, you're gonna be like, yeah. MacBooks every 2 years catch a virus. They catch a virus in the hard drive.
Right.
But if you pull a hard drive out and you put a standard state drive in there, guess what you got? Whole new MacBook.
Yeah, you got a whole new motherboard and all.
Right. So when I was looking, my brother said, man, listen. He said, yo, don't pay brand new money. I wound up finding like a 2017, and I found the MacBook Air because I don't need a hard drive. I just get on. If I'm going to save something, I save it to my flash drive. So
Right.
Okay, so I found the 2017 MacBook Air the dude had brought for his daughter for college. She used it maybe 2 months. Perfect condition. Ran it through Apple, the whole 9 yards of specs. He charged me $325 for it. This was 2.5 years ago. 2.5 years later, I ain't had not no problem on the job. I know people who then went out here and spent $1,200 for a brand new one and been in Apple customer service or tech support several times.
Mm.
But see, if you do a little bit of research, you can save a whole lot of coins.
But people ain't finna do the research. That's the thing. Most got so lazy. Man, our people done got so lazy, independent, and not independent, but dependent upon resources that they not finna go out and do the fucking research. If something happen, we just go to the store. You know what I'm saying? Call the warranty or go get a replacement. You know, I ain't trying to see something so simple. Like something you let a fucking like this dryer, you know, a heating. Now you need it. Your dryer stop getting hot. You go replace the whole dryer for $400-$500. When all you needed was a heating element that's $35.
Mm-hmm. I got one even better, man. Check this out. I learned, YouTube. YouTube is also your teaching mechanism. Check this out. Your hot water heater, if you got electric or if you got gas, they have photo eyes, and those photo eyes tend to get dirty from time to time. So you go out and wipe the photo eyes off, then you have that little heating element that you have to wipe off as well. So most of the time, people will call the home warranty if they got home warranty, or they may call your local, mechanic shop or whatever the case may be to come out, pay that $100 service fee or $75 service fee to come out there, and they'll go over and tell you what the problem is. And most people, they don't even look to see what the problem is, so they know the next time if it goes out or had a problem, they can go ahead and fix it themselves. But they rather go ahead and keep spending the same amount of money. I'm like, man, you got to be out your mind to keep spending this money when you can do it yourself. Doesn't make sense.
Like you ain't never lie. I brought a Cadillac, right? So in this particular model, the DHS, the battery is under the back seat in the car.
Oh yeah.
Because it takes a boat battery. So the car broke down on me. I called the dealership. They come out, tow the car, get the car back to the shop, tell me everything good, right? The second time I'm getting to my windows tinted, it won't start again. They pop the hood and they jump start the little box in the front of the car. So my brother come over to the crib one night. I said, man, my car did it twice, man. He said, so did you test the battery under the back seat? I said, huh? He said, yeah, the battery under the back seat in the car. I thought you knew. I said, why would they put a battery in the back seat? So sure enough, we go outside, pop the back seat, battery sitting there. He take a little copper-like brush and spin twice on the positive and negative.
Right.
For corrosion. Put the joint back on. God damn, I ain't never had another problem out that car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He said, but I said, yo, why would he said, you know what, you one of them people. I say, man, yeah, I call the dealer for everything. He said, yeah, no, fine. He said, how much you think you was gonna spend? I said, well, it came from the dealer. Dealer was gonna handle it. It's all in the package. He said, man, listen. Sometimes just do a little bit of investigation. Save yourself from the egg going on your face and keep it in the bowl.
Yeah, man.
And you're right. So sometimes, if we just do a little bit of research,
yeah, it goes.
Man, I can be feeling some type of way. Or I can have a pain and discomfort or something, my shoulder, leg, or something. Man, it's crazy. You can put this shit on YouTube, and you gonna find people who having the same goddamn problem. Gonna tell you, well, when I did this or I did that, I used this or try this, and you like, damn. Now you just save yourself a doctor bill.
You ain't lying.
YouTube is the new home remedy book. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's the new mechanic with that cigarette in his mouth. Talking about, boy, come on over here for a minute, boy. Boy, I hear you misfire between the third and fourth cylinder, boy.
Right.
And you ain't never lied.
To give you a general idea, if you have something going on with something in your house or something, just go on there and type it in. It's gonna give you a general idea of what it is. You know, if you're getting codes and shit on your car, then you go on there, what this code mean on a particular car? Boom, it's gonna show you. You know, my car was brand new when I got it, and my fuel pump went out. I'm like, the fuel pump, I'm like, damn, we gotta drop the tank. 2017 Dodge Challenger. Fucking fuel pump behind the back seat. It's in the inside of the fucking car.
Yeah.
I said, hold on. Why the fuck they put a gas tank in the inside of the car? Crazy, man.
Yep, that's how they do it. Then not only that, you go to AutoZone or O'Reilly, then you got the fuel pump with the leveler, then you got the fuel pump without it, you got the fuel pump kit. So you like, well, damn, do I need to buy all this shit?
Yeah, got 2 fuel pumps. My car got 2 fuel pumps on it. Which one is it? Shit, I don't know. But I ain't taking it to no dealership to get fixed though.
Bet not.
Hell no. Man, but you know, it just, you know, I mean, we have to at some point, you know, because I always look at this shit the way I look at life now. How the hell did our ancestors survive with no technology? And it seemed like they lived their best life. You know what I'm saying? Outside of, you know, what our people had to endure. But they lived in an era where no technology even existed. Like how many people can actually read a map? You know what I'm saying? How many people can follow directions now? Like they didn't cripple us to the point to where all the shit that we fought hard to do, we fought hard to get an education. We fought hard to learn how to read. Now we back in the era where we not doing none of that shit no more. But it's okay now because we're not noticing it because we being entertained by these fucking phones.
Not only that, but just imagine if you ask somebody to do some mathematics on a piece of paper, give them some problems. Say, don't use your phone, use your head, and see what happens.
Man, you don't know, man. Everything is the phone is everything. When you need the time, people don't even keep up with shit as simple as the date of the month. What today's date is? They gotta go to the phone. What time
Yep.
is it? They gotta go to the phone. Shit, is the store open? They gotta go to the phone. Which way I'm going? They gotta go to the phone. Everything pertains to the phone. Man,
And I tell you,
that's a bad motherfucker, man. Whoever when they came out with this technology, boy, they didn't miss at all.
I tell you another thing too. Not only your phone, the phone and the accessories. You catch a sucker coming to work. You done drove 30 minutes to get to work. And you get to work and say, "Oh man, what's up, man? I forgot my earbuds."
Yeah.
So you finna drive all the way back home just to get your earbuds. You better put that sucker on speaker and let it fly.
Huh? Man, I caught a video on here the other day. I don't know if this is a real video or not, y'all. I don't know if this is real or not. But I promise y'all for the laugh. And if this is a real video, what the hell is really going on in the church house? Let me take this off of here first before we go. So I shall let y'all see this shit. Oh, here you go.
Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preach it, preacher, preach it, preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Where that money bowl at? Don't have any fire this bitch off now. Where that money bowl at? Now, you wasn't hate when the motherfucker was living, goddammit. Now the motherfucker dead. Fuck the son of a bitch. Fuck him, goddammit, and fuck anybody with his ass. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look. All you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preach it, preacher, preach it, preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Where that money bowl at? Don't have any fire this bitch off now. Where that money bowl at? Now, you wasn't hate when the...
Now, this fool in church with a gun for real.
Yeah, man.
Man, even if that's a skit, man, they are dead ass wrong. Like, going to try the church house and play like that. Even if, I don't know if it's real love, it's a skit. What that money bowl at? Preacher. No, man, at this point, man, these people really would do anything on this internet, man. This internet is something serious. And say, oh my God, I seen a kid did not know how to tell time on a regular clock. Shit.
Oh, no.
I'm not surprised. Everything has been digitalized now.
Yep.
See, I be trying to teach my kids how to do math and shit. I bring out the pennies. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do regular basic math. We're gonna bring out the pennies. We're gonna add and subtract. Goddamn. We're gonna we're gonna pull out. We're gonna put the sticks up top. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do all of that. All the old ways of learning. But now you kids, they go right to their phone and say, ask the phone for the answer. And then they sit there test and don't know. Then they say, well, then you got it right on your homework, but you didn't get it right on your test because shit, they cheated homework because they went on the phone and got the answer. They ain't worked the problem out. They can't. Ain't no way, man. Like when I was coming up, we had to do long division, all that shit, long math, add, subtract, whatever. Wasn't no cell phone. We ain't had no cell phone to get us the answer. You fuck around, stuck a calculator in every now and then, but nah, it wasn't no instant shit like this. And it was hard to do it. It was hard to use a calculator on division because shit, they give you the answer, but they didn't tell you how they got it.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons why we have a lot of young adults who can't handle life problems as they go, as we were coming up, because we were taught the long way, and they grew up in the microwave era. So now you can send them to the store, you give them a list, they walk around the list, don't know where to go. I'm like, man, look, if you're looking for the milk, or if you're looking for the dairy or whatnot, they have it numbered for you. So if you can't find stuff off the list, then you really lost.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, the only time I went to the store as an adult to find something and didn't know what I was looking for was because I had never seen them before.
Right.
My grandma sent me to the store to get some rutabagas. Never knew. I never heard of it before.
Right.
Man, tell me why I had to walk past these rutabagas about 10 times. I'm calling her on the phone like, Grandma, they ain't got them. I said, I think I'm gonna have to go to another store. Just so happened while I stopped and called it. I'm like, Grandma, I don't see no rutabagas in here. I said, I think I'm gonna have to go to another store. She said, well, then try to go to this store right here. They might have some. I'm like, all right, Grandma. So I hung up the phone. I said, Mama, go look one last time. So I turned around, the motherfucking rutabagas right there. I said, I done walked past these ones about 10 times.
Yeah, they try to get your attention. They try to get your attention.
Because I'm going to the store, like you say, go get some sweet potatoes, go get an onion, go get some tomatoes. You going and you're not really looking for the area. You looking at, what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it looked like. So I'm going there looking for, but I ain't know what the hell the rutabaga looked like. But if you didn't know, I didn't know then, but then when I found it, I'm like, damn, it looked like a sweet potato.
Right.
Just small. I'm like, damn, that's probably why I kept walking past it, because I'm thinking there's sweet potatoes over there. And I'm walking past it, walking back past, walking past it, walking back past. I'm like, I ain't seen these motherfuckers nowhere. Then I finally read the sign. I'm in there looking for shit. That's just how it is. You go to the store, you just go in there, you look for what you looking for.
That's right.
You ain't reading no signs. You ain't doing. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I wasn't reading the sign. I'm just looking for what I'm looking for.
Well, look, I'm even more guilty because I damn sure didn't know I had to ask sorry what the rutabaga was. I didn't want to be out the loop. It's the sweetest root vegetable, kind of like a green. Okay, all right, look now.
Yeah. Man, I was walking past that motherfucker, never knew why I was walking past it until I realized why I was walking past it. I'm thinking it's sweet potatoes or something. And I'm just standing. And I turned around, I look, and then I read the sign. I say, man, I walked past this shit about 10 times. My grandma was cracking up, boy. And then she cooked them. I didn't even taste them. She said, I'm making them. You gonna have to come over here and taste them. I didn't even get to taste them, man. Cause I'm looking like they like turnip. I want like turnip bottoms or whatever. You know what a turnip is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the worst green I ever taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fuck with them turnip. They're like your auntie putting them beaks on that damn dress.
Yeah. I meant to give you a shout out the other day. I wonder who had to put some beats on their dressing the other day. better buy you some cranberry sauce for these birds.
No, I got a partner who drink beet juice and prune juice.
Damn.
They say that beet shit is good for your heart or some shit like
Yeah,
that. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
keep your cholesterol and stuff down and all that stuff.
Yeah, I drink. It's a powder. You can drink it with like cranberry juice, but I'm talking natural beet juice and natural prune juice.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
Woo.
I can
You gotta have.
Digest.
I can imagine when he go in the situation, boy.
Yeah, man.
Man, if
You
anybody
know,
know man, I called phone news yesterday, man. I called to check up on him, man. His phone ain't working, man. I ain't been seeing him on here in a minute. I was like, man, T Glenn, I talked to him. He doing better. He was doing a lot better out of the hospital and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm gonna call Unc and check on him, man. Phone going to voicemail. I ain't seen Unc on here about a month almost. I was like, man,
yeah.
I just be trying to check and make sure people all right.
Yeah, I think I talked to T Glenn on Black CEO the other day. I think we were chopping it up a little bit, talking about the little old the
Shane,
little lady.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Come to find out the young lady had a son too, man. I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro.
Oh, yeah, I ain't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. This shit that's going on, man. The world, I mean, we living in some treaded waters right now, man. And I'm about to say that's what she said. I really don't know, man. I mean, I honestly though, man, like you still want to be hopeful that we come together in unity, establish the unity. I just feel like the people that's gonna come together, and the ones that's the doubters, shit, they gonna be casted the way they cast it,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. My heart goes out to the ones in Virginia and Chesapeake day before Thanksgiving, I think.
Oh yeah, the Walmart shit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I heard about that, man.
But I just need to say this because I'm not gonna have another gloomy Gus. I ain't gonna damn the panel like I did with the last one. Man, I just want people to be mindful that just because you having a rough day, don't mean you gotta spread that situation.
No.
They say that they was having a bad day and they went in the break room and just let loose on everybody in the break room. And then they self. Like, I mean.
Then you got the cops that killed the two people and turned the gun on was it a female cop or whatever that did that shit?
Oh yeah, the female cop. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even hear that one.
Killed two people and turned the gun on herself.
What was it, love triangle type thing, or they hadn't said yet?
Man, I haven't really read off into it that deep, but I'm just like with that shit with the Carolina shit with the kid that on the football player, man, it's just so much tragedy, man.
Yeah.
Man, look, I just want everybody to be cognizant of what's going on and just stay positive, man. It's so crazy out here.
Yeah, it's so much negative energy out here that you got to pretty much try to pull a shield over yourself to try to not even indulge in it because it's so easy to get trapped in the moment. And they always say keep your head on the swivel, but at the same time, you got to see who don't have their head on the swivel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna dash. It's been official for a while. I've been new about it. So everybody brace yourself. 4 or 5 get ready to go on Twitter. Hopefully he get Brittany Griner brought home though.
Or Trump.
Yeah, and I'm saying that. I want everybody to think about it. Some people would say he was an AH and he was bad, but I think if he make a call, he can get Brittany brought home. And that's just because he has that type of personality. You know what I'm saying? You know, him and Putin to talk a secret dialogue, and you know, bop de bop whoop de whoop. I ain't gonna go into semantics, but
Man, Biden, bro. Oh, boy. And for to say this dude got 70 million fucking votes from the minorities, bro.
I think them numbers was padded.
I think so too. Them bitches gotta be padded, cause man, who the fuck would vote? Who? I just like damn, like 70 million.
Yeah, he gotta turn his bingo card in because he showed him win on that shit.
Yeah, I've just never been a Biden fan like that. You know, I think personally, you know, I'm not gonna call him. I'm just gonna say he's just sitting there doing what he do. I'm not gonna say he's not doing nothing. I'm not gonna say he's doing something. He's just doing what he do. But you know, I think that it's time for self-evaluation and group accountability. You know, we got to know what we want in ourselves so we can be accountable as a group to make a full change and progress. You know? And I hate to say it, I think if we walk like the monkeys, we'll get a lot further than we can imagine. And for those who in the chat thinking monkey is a bad thing, it's an actual TV show called The Monkeys, and they used to all link their arms together and walk one stepping foot in front of the other. Like somebody to timestamp myself with that one right there for real.
Right on.
But you remember the show?
I remember it back in the day.
Yeah.
I definitely remember it.
But if you think about it, you used to sit and look and be like, man, how is that going to work? But they actually got across the beach like that. So just think that if we interlock like that, you know what I'm saying, and just don't think, just do.
Yeah, don't worry about who's not gonna per se I guess do what you do or have that same mentality, because you would think that if someone sees somebody doing something that's positive, if they think it's positive, they will go ahead and join in. But we got too many people out who are worried about, well, I don't wanna join that plan because I don't think it's gonna work. So they're gonna stray away and try to go against it. And that's what the problem we're having right now. Everybody wanna go against what we know this should be working, but they don't want to do it. They have their own agenda.
Yeah, and that's the problem, man. Just think if we sit down and formulate one agenda, and each week accomplish one goal off that agenda. But enough about that. Here's a little FYI funny note. Today is Saturday. If you still eating leftovers from Thanksgiving, you might be a black person. Let me stop. No, but hey, man, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Right on.
Hope
right
they
on.
not eat Thanksgiving. I hope they not. That shit. I gotta go today.
Look, Big Vibe, the girl on the radio said they gonna be eating Thanksgiving up until Tuesday. She be damned if she gonna make a Sunday meal.
Hey,
now, my grandma.
That's what we do.
My
we
grandma.
cook and then we eat it till the food run out. Then you start on something else. If the food ain't gone, you keep eating. You make you a dressing sandwich. Put you some dressing and some damn turkey, and some cranberry or some beets. Put a little gravy on it. Go on about your business.
My grandma used to take the ham and debone it and freeze it and shit. She'd cook that ham, you know, for breakfast food. Like shit, you have Grinch egg and ham. You know.
Hell yeah. Ain't no throwing nothing away.
But I don't eat a lot. I don't eat a lot of that. I don't eat a lot of this like dressing and different things like that. I don't eat that type of shit. So
I'm gonna say this. Lex, I'm not coming over to watch Sunday football because I'll be dang if I want another goddamn turkey sandwich. So no, you holler at me on Monday night when it become turkey salad or something. I may go with that with Smart. But no,
all right, lavish lady.
I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy your weekend, man. I'm getting ready to dash because Michigan and Ohio State is getting ready to lock at it.
Right on.
I got one more video.
Alabama is out of the national title this year, so I'm sad. I'm hurt, but I'm gonna get over it.
Yeah.
And everybody enjoy their Saturday, Sunday. Definitely hug a loved one, hug a friend, hug everybody you can. If you never tell them, always tell them you love them, you care about them. Until next time, I hope we get to study the culture though. Maybe later on tonight though, for real. I'm
gonna try to do something later tonight, man. I came to Columbus and see my son. So
look, man, if you do it on the road, count me in.
Yeah, they've been doing me. They've been keeping me busy, man. Hitting my pockets. I'm about ready to get ghost, but now. But hey, it's moments. These are the moments that we work hard for and live for. To be able to cherish them and spend them with your children, man. And that's it's gonna be bittersweet, but gotta go back to work because the bills don't stop when you stop.
Hell no.
Definitely enjoy the family when you can, man. Look at it this way. At least they got a pocket to hit. And,
right.
God has blessed you to be able to help them when they need it. So hey, keep doing what you do, man. And tell them that EJ, you're coming in late, EJ. I got to run. I got to dash like that. No, I'm playing. Hey, what's going on though? How you been,
What's up,
EJ?
Alonzo? What's up, Alonzo? What's up, EJ in the Jeep?
Hey man, I ain't seen Willie in a minute either. But
Willie,
you know what?
Willie be creeping around, man.
Yeah, I ain't seen Willie in this. Hey, look, and anybody, if you see City of Gods, tell her check in, man. Nobody's saying a big vibe. Put the word up. Saying nobody's seen in a minute.
The word been out, man, but everybody laying low right now, man. It's it's off period season, man.
Well, at least send the bat signal back so you got it, If you send the signal back, we know you're good. And we go from there.
All right. What's up, Lonzo?
What's going on, Brody? What's happening, everybody?
Long time.
What's up, man?
Long time. Been a minute.
Been a minute. I'm doing my rounds in these YouTube streets, man. I came to disrupt the conversation and throw my own spin. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just came to say what's up, man. I always throw my financial literacy stuff out there, but I'm just seeing what's good with y'all.
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. What you got for us in the financial world, man?
Oh man, same old stuff, different day. I mean, but I guess it's old to me but new to y'all because I haven't said my story on everyone's platform. But as we go through these holidays, you want to remember the good times and all that good stuff. I know I stuffed myself, but I had some Chinese food yesterday because I was all turkeyed out.
Yeah. I ain't eat too much turkey myself, man. I ain't a big Thanksgiving person.
Oh man, listen, I call it food day. To be honest, most of these, I'm not a what you call religious person. So like even in the work that I do, people always telling me, "Oh, go to the churches," and I have great ideas that will work with churches or not-for-profit organizations. But I don't go to the churches because I don't share the same beliefs. So I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to go. But then people be like, well, God uses anybody. And I'm like, all right, well, then let me go to the church and tell them about insurance. But
yeah, I don't want to hear about that. That's going to interfere with them ties.
Mm-hmm.
It actually helped the ties. Trust me. But yeah, what's going on with y'all, man?
Not much, man. For me, what about your brother?
I didn't hear you.
Lonzo said, "What's going on, man? I'm gonna have
Oh
to,
man.
chop it up with most definitely. I gotta get myself together going to 2023. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, now is the time, right? Because here's what I often run into. People are talking about, oh, I'll talk back with you after the holidays. It's the holidays, I got Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's. And here's the thing. Life don't wait for nobody, nor does death, right? And we got to prepare for those things. So the cool thing is, like, businesses are doing their end of year and beginning of quarter stuff now. So they're wrapping up the end of the year now, and they're getting the beginning of next year ready, right? So that's what we need to start doing as a people. But again, like I said, I ain't really trying to disrupt too much with my financial preaching. I'm just trying to chop it up with y'all.
Yeah, make sure you put your business number in the private chat for me so I can.
That's my personal number. My business number is my personal number. So when you call me, that's my direct cell phone that I answer. I just put it in the back chat. And listen, as a salesperson, I am what you would call a whore, meaning if you want to give my number to someone and you think they could use my services, please feel welcome to give them my number. You don't have to ask.
Yeah. What I like to offer though, Alonzo, on this channel, what I like to offer is promotion, man. So if you can put you together a 30-second to I'm gonna say a minute. If you can put you together a 1-minute promotional video, I will run it on my lives every time I come on.
All right.
And my email,
challenge accepted.
My email going across the bottom of the screen right there. You can email me at bigvilepinion88@gmail.com. You can email it over to me. I can get it together and I will run that ad. That's most definitely a great ad to run, because life insurance very important. Like you say, death don't wait on nobody, neither does life.
Facts, man. I mean, look at I keep telling people about this thing called COLI, which is corporate-owned life insurance, which is basically when people job have a policy and they be like, I got a policy for my job. I'll tell you how corporations use it. Look at the rappers in the last 5 years that die every October, November. That happens to be around corporate tax filing season. You'll happen to notice that in that few months before, that rapper released an album that likely went double wood. And then suddenly they get murdered. I work for a life insurance company that does life insurance policies on a lot of athletes and entertainers. Usually they're up to between $50 and $100 million death benefits. So these guys front Takeoff or Quavo or whoever it was, $10 million for their record deal. Spending all that money on the advertisement, the videos, the gold chains, the cars, And then they don't recoup their $10 million that they spent. Well, they also spent money on a life insurance policy. And in that policy called corporate-owned life insurance, there's something called insurable interest. So there has to be a reason that you're getting this life insurance. And the reason is that they have to recoup their money that they spent on this artist. And they get a $50 million policy. They pay $100,000 to some dude from the hood to knock them off. And then they get $50 million back.
Wow.
Now, it seems like a conspiracy theory, but these are things that are plausible. And you'll sweep it under the rug because look at the rap music. This is the lifestyle they live. This ain't no conspiracy. This is just niggas doing nigga shit. Excuse my language. I don't know if I could curse and stuff up here.
Nah, you speaking facts. That's the first thing they write it off is, that's how he was living.
Yeah. And then it's just, he out here living that street life shit and that's what he got. And then boom. Now I tell my story. The reason I sell life insurance is because 2008, 3 days before Mother's Day, I got shot 5 times in front of my mother in the Trey Foe. That's Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for those that don't know. And so that's why I'm passionate about it, right? For my people. Because at that time I didn't have a lick of life insurance, but through circumstances in life, I fell into the industry and I learned more about it. And it's my charge to teach my people about it, right? Don't just believe me. Go to Google. Actually, anybody who can right now, whip out your phone and go to Google. And in the Google bar, I want you to put in these words. Let me know when you got your phone ready or your Google ready.
Let me see. I need my laptop.
Lexus, you could do it too, bro. In fact, do it too. Or anybody you got with you.
All right.
And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to continue my story. So we know about the rappers YSL, right? That whole crew that got locked up and indicted. When they got caught with $1 million cash.
Right.
If you do the math, 28 heads divided by $1 million is $35,000 per person. So them niggas could have all got jobs at McDonald's instead of taking penitentiary chances and got the same amount of money. Equally, outside of Thugger and Gunna, because they were the rappers. Right? But if you do the math, if 28 niggas went down, $1 million divided by 28 is $35,000 a head.
Which really ain't no money that you taking a risk for.
Right. Now, on the flip side, that's why I tell this story. Because we always call ourselves El Chapo in the hood. Let me know when you got that Google up.
Yeah,
right.
You got it up. You got it up, Lex?
I think you do. So, in the Google bar, put Colombian cocaine cartel life insurance. And hit enter. And you should find a news article from December 10th, 2002, from the New York Times, the Moscow Times. I think it's in part of the Department of State or the Federal Reserve Board archives.
You said Colombian cocaine, what?
Colombian cocaine cartel, CARTEL.
All right.
Life insurance. Only because we got to change the game, man. We can't have dudes in the hood, buying the Carter and then just giving out turkeys. That's a tax write-off for them. But if we was in the hood in dire straits and we're already on welfare, we was getting the turkey anyway. So let's make some differences with that money. Put that money to good use. Open businesses.
They said that it moved $80 million in life insurance. That what you talking about?
Yeah.
That 3? Okay.
Yeah. $80 million of cocaine money in life insurance. This was 5 people. One guy got indicted in San Francisco for moving 13 tons, not kilos, 13 tons of cocaine per week.
Damn.
How many kilos is in a ton, right? So a ton is 2,000 pounds. A kilo is 2 pounds, 2.2 pounds. So you basically got 1,000 kilos.
Yeah, man.
1,000 pounds. 1,000 kilos.
Yeah. Times 13. Right? But we don't get taught the proper way to use these products. Right? Because right? The article says new hiding place for drug profits, life insurance policies, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
All right. So now there's no way that I could have pre-planned for you to have found this. Well, technically, I directed you towards it, but like, there's no way we could have planned for this to have happened other than that, right?
Right.
So, but this is information we don't have. Now, in that same Google bar, I want you to erase that and I want you to put in COLI, corporate owned life insurance.
Man, it's crazy. I was just having a conversation last night about life insurance. It wasn't as deep, but I know it was matter of fact, it was talking about the differences in the policy, whole life and term.
There's purposes for each. And Bob put an article in the back, and Lex, I put an article in the back chat that's about life insurance and slavery. Go ahead, Lex, my fault.
No, go ahead. I was listening in. I was just clicking in. I know you heard you say whole life, term life, and what's that? They got another one supposed to be the same as whole life. I can't think of the name of it. I think it started with a P or something like that.
So there's a few different types of life insurance. So in term, you've got about 5 different options. In permanent, you've got about 5 different options. Most of what you are told as a consumer is term versus permanent. So let's first talk about term. In term, you have what's called level term, meaning that the price is the same amount for the term of the policy, and the death benefit is the same amount. So if you pay $100 a year for a $100,000 death benefit for the term of 10 years, that's all you pay for that 10 years, right?
Right.
And then it's done. But that's how term insurance works. So if you don't die, if you get the policy at 30 and you don't die before 40, then your family gets nothing and you spent that money for no reason.
Right.
Well, not no reason. You spent that money to protect in case something died over the course of that last 10 years for a low dollar amount.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there's a reason for every type of policy. Right now, term insurance, again, is just that. But now you have things like increasing term. So increasing term may be a 20-year term policy, which is the most common length of term policy. And every 5 years, the price goes up for you, but the death benefit stays the same. So for the first 5 years, from 30 to 40, it costs you $100 a year. But then from 30 to 35, it costs you $100 a year. But at 35, it costs you $200 a year for the same $100,000. Then, well, no, that's just automatically how the policy does. Your death benefit doesn't increase. But what you pay increases.
Right.
Then they have something called decreasing term, which is similar to a mortgage protection life insurance policy. And the way that works is, again, we'll use a $100,000 death benefit, and we'll use a 30-year length of time or 30-year term, which is the longest term option available. And so in that case, we would say you have a 30-year mortgage of $100,000. And so you're going to get a life insurance policy that's death benefit is $100,000 for the course of 30 years. However, because it's decreasing, that means that the death benefit goes down over the course of that 30 years, because the assumption is that your mortgage balance goes down over the course of that same 30 years. So the purpose of the insurance is literally just that, to cover that mortgage, right?
Mhm.
Then you have something called return of premium term, which is unlike the rest of the terms. At the end of the 10, 20, or 30 years, your money is spent, you get no death benefit, but you get nothing back. At the end of a return of premium term, all of the money that you paid the insurance company for your death benefit gets given back to you.
Right.
Okay. Now, those are term life insurance. There's no cash value accumulation. There's no savings or anything attached to it. Then we're looking at permanent. So in permanent, you have what most people are told about, which is whole life, which is a policy that you pay that has a cash value portion accumulation set to the side. Right. So there's something called cost of insurance. So it costs X amount of dollars to protect you for a $100,000 death benefit. But the overage of that goes to your cash value, which is basically a compensatory savings account.
Yeah, if I ask you a question.
Sure.
Yeah. Now these versus the term life and the whole life you can borrow money off the whole life. Am I correct?
Yes, we'll get to that later, though.
All right, go ahead.
So the differences in whole life are the way that cash value is accumulated and basically the guarantees. So the guarantees are you're guaranteed a death benefit for the remainder of your life. So, and you're locked into that rate. So unlike a term policy where at the end of the term, let's say you're 30 years old and you get a $100,000 death benefit for 10 years, you can keep your policy at year 11, but it's going to cost you substantially more for that same $100,000 death benefit. However, with a whole life policy, if you pay for that $100,000 death benefit at the age of 30, at the age of 40, you still have that death benefit and it still costs you exactly the same amount. Plus, as you were mentioning, Lexington, you have the availability to borrow against a cash value that has been accumulated. Now, we're going to talk about that cash value accumulation and borrowing later, because that's very misleading. And that's why you'll have a lot of agents who will tell you things like buy term, invest the difference, which is dangerous. And then you'll have agents who will promote things like infinite banking, which is also dangerous unless you know how to utilize each tool, right? It's just like somebody who's working on a car, right? It's great to be able to change your oil, but if you want to start working on the transmission, you kind of got to get somebody who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
Right? So that's why I call myself the all-star advisor, right? It's kind of like basketball, right? You have three players who went to the Lakers basically straight from high school: Smush Parker, Lamar Odom, and Kobe Bryant. Look at the difference in the career, but they all got into the league. So that's the same thing as people who get their license in financial services, whether that be life insurance, investments, retirement, or whatever. I do all three, right?
All right.
But you have to know how to use all of these tools and be able to look at them objectively. So
I agree.
Man. And so what happens is, especially to our community, you know, we push a flashy thing. Hey, buy term, invest the difference. Well, that doesn't make sense, right? Because the average, the minimum investment to invest with an investment advisor is $10,000. Say again? Which is, and $10,000 breaks down to $834 a month. So what you're telling clients is someone who's struggling to pay $200 to $300 a month on a life insurance policy, whether that be term or whole life, is going to suddenly pull $834 a month out of their ass. Right? So it doesn't make sense now when it's explained to you. And even people like Dave Ramsey and Sue Zorman say this dumb shit. Excuse my language again, I'm sorry. But I ain't get shot 5 times for no reason. You see what I'm saying? So I always ask, is the vulgar language worse or the conditions that we end up living in because our people don't get educated?
All right.
But Vi, you had a question?
No, my kid had stepped in. I was talking to one of my.
All right. Listen, like I said, man, I ain't mean to come derail the conversation. I came to chop it up, but I like to feed my people, and the best way that I can possibly, and this financial literacy can help us a lot if we want to do things like succeed and build transistors on our own. We got people who are engineers, but we got to have the funds to be able to succeed on our own and be a nation state of our own. We got to have the people who, when our engineers are building those transistors, are able to sell them and manage the money so we don't end up befundling the bag. So we have people who can be our military. So we have people who can grow our crops. So we have people who can barter and trade with other nations.
Right. Man, you gotta have to start. You most definitely have to start coming on this on every
Yep.
Friday. On every Fridays, we have State of the Culture. And life insurance should be a part of the State of the Culture. Meetings every Friday we have at 9:30. So
I'll definitely try to slide through. I'll be like I said, man. I'll be trying to make my waves and disrupt everybody's conversation with my financial literacy.
hey, I like it though. I like it, man. Anytime you talk about life insurance, that's something positive, man. I mean, a lot of people, some people got life insurance, some people don't have it.
But we end up buying it the wrong way. Lex, you still got your computer open?
Yeah, I can go back to it.
All right, do me this favor. Go to this website, lifehappens.org. Oh, that's ironic. We got the pictures of the people in the background too, and I'm sitting here with my blackety black stuff. But I appreciate you guys soaking up the game. Like I said, letting me even come in and disrupt the conversation with this type of information. And I am licensed in 11 states. So it's, I'm able to help in a lot of states. And I don't do this alone. I do have a team with me. So don't think like this is just one guy. Like I have 30 agents who work with me, right? But each one of us is basically our own. We're all self-employed, you know what I mean? So.
Okay. It was saying.
It didn't come up?
Yeah, it was saying get a quote. That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, life happens. So go to where it says calculators. You went to lifehappens.org. It should be a green like page, I guess.
No, that didn't pop up for some reason. Let me go back to it again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My fault again, man. I be feeling bad coming and taking over panels, but this shit gets really real. And
I don't be minding, man. Anything knowledgeable on my panel is always welcome. That's why I say, even if you can put together, a 1 minute little, video, boom. I will most definitely run the ad on my platform,
Nah, I appreciate that, brother. Like I said, man, this is I thank you for allowing me. That's what I'm saying. Like I apologize again for coming and taking over, but
Nah, it was
like you
open
said, this is the
discussion.
knowledge we need.
Yeah, it was open discussion today. So
So this is perfect
everybody,
then. He
yeah.
said,
Okay, yeah. I think I found it. Got a little video on there. That's what you talking about.
it should, and there should be a bar on the top that says like calculators. Let me go to it. Hold up. Life happens.
Yeah, I found it. There's a lady on there. If you go down to the bottom, it got the calculator and all that. That should be the right
Yeah.
one.
So
Okay,
go to
yeah.
calculators and go to where it says human life value.
Okay.
Wow, man. Why start playing? I guess I can't go to it on my tablet.
Yeah, it said this calculator helps you calculate your loss or something like that.
Yeah, human life value. This calculator helps you assess the financial loss your family would incur if you were to die today. So
Right.
you see where it asks you to punch in the numbers. Right? Where it says how much monthly income would you have available if disabled? Right? So right at the top, annual income earned. So right there, the average income in America is about $50,000. So I don't know if you want to put your own actual numbers in there for your own process. You ain't got to tell us those numbers, but you could put your own numbers in there, or you could follow along with me and put, the numbers that I'm gonna put in there just to illustrate the values for you.
Right.
Okay, but so let's say annual income is $50,000. At that point, tax rate is about 25%. Savings. So the average savings is less than $500 in America, but we're going to say that in savings they have $5,000. Okay? Years into retirement. So, Vi, how old are you? Hello?
Oh, my bad. 34.
34? All right. So we're going to say we've got 31 years until retirement. Right? Because we want to retire at 65. That's even though full retirement age is 67 currently, if you were born 1967 or later. But so technically, if that's the case, then at 34, you have 33 years until retirement. So we'll put 33 years in there. And then current life insurance. Let's say we currently have $250,000 worth of life insurance. Other assets. Can anybody tell me anything that they will consider other assets?
Would it be like property or something?
So property can be an asset, yes. But that would be property that's owned free and clear, meaning no mortgage, right? If you have a mortgage, the equity in your home doesn't truly exist because you have to borrow to get it, right? So things like cars, jewelry, crypto, things like that. Or, retirement accounts. Anything of that. Yeah, 401k is a retirement account.
Okay.
Okay. So average 401k at retirement today is about $103,000. So at 34, we'll assume there's about $30,000 in that 401k. Right, which is a good, decent amount at this point in life. Okay, so when we click next and go to calculate, The analysis says human life value $2,341,993.22. Total resources $285,000. Life insurance need $2,056,993.22. So when people then say, well, I have life insurance, I got $100,000 policy for my job, I'm good. Well, according to this calculator, on a $50,000 a year annual income, with a 34-year-old guy who wants to retire at 67, who maybe has 2 kids and a wife and a mortgage and a car note, and his kids like to do things like eat every day, right? We got to start thinking in terms of decades, not days. So this calculator says to cover basically 20 years of that, you would need $2 million death benefit. And this is why you'll hear people pushing term life insurance a lot, because that big death benefit is very expensive in a permanent policy. Right? But now, look at expensive as relative. Because what did I say earlier? Even if somebody's struggling paying $300 a month, regardless of if it's a term or a permanent policy, then that's a problem. So what I'm saying is, I don't care what type of policy you have, there's a certain amount a month you should be paying because you need to do things like cover your family, right? If that's the sole purpose of life insurance is a death benefit, and you're supposed to get a term policy, then why are we pussyfooting?
Right.
Excuse my language. But you see what I'm saying?
Right, that's a fact.
So, now, again, when you're looking at whole life, right? So you've got whole life, universal life, indexed universal life, variable universal life. Right? So each one is a little bit different. So whole life is literally that. It's just a policy that you get. The death benefit is locked in for your whole life. You pay the policy for your whole life until the day you die. Right? Universal life is a little bit more cash about building cash value. And on that one, you have what's called a flexible premium schedule. So what that means is you build a little bit more cash value in it, but you also have the option of paying more into the policy at certain periods to accelerate the cash value growth, right?
Right.
Then you have indexed universal life insurance, which is the same bells and whistles as universal life insurance, but it has the benefit of being mirroring the S&P 500. So it's similar to an ETF fund, right? Where in an ETF fund, right, that's on the like an index fund, that's an ETF.
What's
that's
the
on the
What's the ETF?
God, I can't think of the what you call it, the acronym, but it's basically it's an index fund.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what the fuck is the word. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of the words right now. I hate when that happens.
So do a lot of people operate with the index like?
You might came in a little choppy.
I say, do a lot of people use the index term?
The index universal life insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the index universal life insurance, like I said, it's similar to an index fund, right? However, an index fund actually participates in the S&P 500. So when the S&P 500 goes up, your index fund goes up, the money in your index fund. But when the S&P 500 goes down, the money in your index fund goes down. Now, with an indexed universal life insurance policy, it does not participate in the S&P 500. However, it does mirror the S&P 500 with some ceilings and floors. So your floor is 0 and your ceiling is, I don't know exactly what the number is as of today, but I think, let's just say your ceiling is 6%. And the market goes up, the S&P goes up 10%. You're capped at 6%, right? But if the S&P goes down, your money doesn't go down. You just don't earn anything. So that's the trade-off.
Okay.
Right? So, and then you have variable universal life insurance, which is all the way participating in the market. So all of your premium dollars are subject to the markets. All of your death benefit is subject to the market, and all of your cash value accumulation is subject to the market.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So
That's a lot to digest. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's a lot to digest, and then a lot of people don't even really know about what kind of policy they're really getting because they're not. I guess they're not investigating all the nuances about what's into the policy. So this is great information.
Bro, you know how many licensed agents I know who don't know this stuff? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think how we gonna have to do this is, we're gonna have to take out a segment each day. We're gonna have to take out a segment each day or each on each state of the culture. We just gonna have to just focus in on one particular one particular type of policy each week until we cover all of the different types of policies there are. And not put too much on people at one time,
Oh yeah. It goes deep, man. Think about having to learn all this stuff. This is why a lot of agents don't know about it. Like I'll give you a ill story this morning, right? So a client of mine stumbled upon a family member who's selling a house at a low price because they're family, right? So we're talking I could do the numbers. So it's in the area where the house could sell for like $500,000, but because he's family, she's gonna give it to him for $200,000, right? So he called me as his financial advisor and was like, "Hey, I got this opportunity. How can I flip this?" So he's got a nice pension and a couple $100,000 in the pension, and I was like, "Well, you can look at your pension, but why don't you look at the retirement account that you did with me? Because we set up a retirement account with him for $500,000. And this guy works for the state of New York, so that's why he's got a lot of money. And then we did a big life insurance policy on him. So I told him, I said, well, why don't you try borrowing against the life insurance? But you don't even have to borrow against it. Take it to the loan officer, and they'll use it as collateral in your in your net worth. So he went and he called his loan officer this morning, and he was like, yeah, my loan officer said that I can use my life insurance and the retirement account that we set up towards my net worth to qualify for a loan. So I don't even have to borrow against anything but myself.
Right. Pay yourself back.
Yep.
Wow, that's good. Man, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of benefits.
Oh man, there's a lot of benefits, man. Like it's terms and shit that they don't teach us about, right? Like it's things called collateral assignments, buy-sell agreements. It's so much stuff, man. Like a buy-sell agreement is how you establish a business or a business exit strategy, right?
Wow.
And these terms that I'm dropping on you, obviously, I know, you can go to Google, even though Google ain't, the end all be all, but you can go to Google and they'll tell you these terms. So, I'm not just pulling stuff out of my hat. Like, I'm from Dusseldorf, you know what I mean? Like, no, this is real knowledge that they don't teach us. And even like I said, a lot of people who have their licenses don't know this stuff. I've worked with agents who are licensed who were unaware that they could sell annuities, which is an IRA. So people are always talking about going to the bank to get an IRA when you could go to your local State Farm and get an IRA.
Right. They definitely sell
Or
them.
you could go to your life insurance agent and get an IRA. Sorry, what'd you say, Lex?
Yeah, I said I know they definitely sell them because they tried to sell me one. All right, so I know they definitely selling them at the your local insurance broker or whatnot.
Exactly. So it is a deep hole. Like even like whole life is tricky, right? Because when you get into whole life, there's multiple types, right? So like they've got things called fully underwritten, which means that you got to take a full exam, right? So that's when they have a nurse come out, they take blood and urine, they take an oral swab, they might take an EKG, depending on how much you're applying for and how old you are.
Yep, I've done that with State Farm.
Say again?
I said I've done that with State Farm.
Oh, they did the medical exam, the paramedic exam?
Yeah.
Yeah. State Farm's a pretty good company for life insurance. They're one of the top producers or sellers of life insurance. That doesn't mean that they have the best product, but they get to the most people. So people get confused when they see these companies with certain awards. That just means that they made the most money. That doesn't mean that they're the best product.
Right.
Right. So, and this is with all of those rating things. When they be like, this is the best top 20 cars of 2022. Nah, these are the ones who made the most money in this sector. And that's why they the top.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, and then we even got to look at like black-owned life insurance companies. One is called North Carolina Mutual. They're in rehab, meaning they're broke, so they're not taking on any new customers. And then there's another company called Atlanta Life Insurance that was started by the same two guys. It was a guy who was a partner with this guy named Alonzo Herndon, who started a barbershop. Then he went from a barbershop into real estate. And then from real estate, he went into insurance. And he died the richest man in Atlanta selling life insurance. And his company is still around. It's called Atlanta Life Insurance. And they sell reinsurance. So they insure bigger companies like MetLife and Macy's. So when them companies don't want to take the risk, Atlanta Life Insurance might take the risk. It's a dirty game, though. But my fault, man. Like I said, man, I apologize because I could keep going, man. This rabbit hole goes so deep in this financial stuff and just life insurance. Forget about investments. Most people aren't concrete enough to really do so, right? There's a statistic, and this is from the Federal Reserve, right? So the federal government tracks this stuff. Blacks went from ownership of equities and mutual funds. So equities is things like stocks, bonds, right? And mutual funds is mutual fund. And ownership of that by race, in 1990, blacks owned 0%. In the end, quarter four of 1995, blacks owned 1% of all of the equities and mutual funds in America. By the year 2020, quarter four, or the end of the year 2020, blacks still only own 1% of equities and mutual funds. Why is that when we have a bunch of people in certain companies who run around and telling you things like buy term, invest the difference? But then they don't tell you things like I said earlier. The minimum investment is $10,000. So if you struggling paying $300 a month on a life insurance policy, regardless of if it's term or whole life, how are you then expecting somebody to come with $834 a month bare minimum to invest? At least for it to make any kind of difference.
Right.
Right? Otherwise, the investing that you're doing, you might as well go to your local corner store and say, "Hey, let me get a Lucky Sevens, let me get a cash scratch for $5, and let me get the $30 scratch and get the same high."
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I like about things like Acorn and Stash is because at least it gives us the opportunity as a people to look and learn. So even though I'm speaking negative about it, there's some positives to it too. Right? And those positives, sorry?
I was saying, sorry to cut you off. I heard about Acorn. I just never checked into it thoroughly, but I heard about it.
Yeah. So again, this is why I encourage people get into those. Those are called robo-advisors. Right? So you'll even have accounts like TD Ameritrade, which is Charles Schwab. They'll be rolling that out next year, later in 2023. But they bought them in 2019. Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade. So, the difficulty is they'll tell you, "Oh, you could start an account with $3,500. You can just start an account with $0." People never read the fine print. First of all, you need to check out the APRs or the APY, annual percentage yield. Because all we think about is, the numbers are going up and down. This is a roller coaster. Well, I feel good. I'm up $58,000.
Right.
But they don't understand the laws of accretion, right? Which is an unrealized capital gain. So what is an unrealized capital gain? That's when you invest, quote unquote, and your money goes up, and now you're up $58,000. You're not actually up $58,000 until there's a transaction and someone gives you $58,000 for your shares of, ABC company.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it just sitting there idle. So until that transaction is made, then you just sitting there idle right now. That's it.
Well, also because of tax implications. Right? Because you don't have to pay taxes on that. Now, this is things that we have to look at when we're looking at politics, right? Because like you said, when we're looking at the people, we got to look at all aspects, right? So when you're looking at the politics, things like Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan had things like unrealized capital gains tax. So what does that mean? Let's say the average American is making $50,000 a year. They put their money in some super investment and all of a sudden they up $58,000, right? So now when it comes time to pay taxes, even though you never received the $58,000 for that super duper crypto investment for Snoop Dogg coin, the books say that you made $58,000 for Snoop Dogg coin. So now when it's time to pay taxes at the end of the year, instead of paying taxes in the tax bracket that you're in at the $50,000 tax bracket, because of that Build Back Better plan, you now got paid taxes as if you made $108,000 because of that $58,000 plus the $50,000 you actually received.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we don't look at those implications. We just like, the number's going up. I'm up.
Yeah, that's what happened with that Bitcoin.
If you want to go back to Google, I want you to type this in, BOLI, B-O-L-I, just like I told you to type in COLI, corporate-owned life insurance. Did you type that in, COLI, C-O-L-I?
Yeah.
And what came up?
That COLI was the same one with the, hold on, let me see.
I'm sorry, I know I'm dropping a lot of shit.
That wasn't when we was on the live happens.org. I don't know if I did the COLI.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Like I said, so the lifehappens.org, the reason I sent you there is because it's a way you can calculate yourself, because the insurance agent stands to make money. Now there's nothing wrong with that, because here's the thing. People always shit on insurance agents making money, right? They get commission from the insurance company, not you. Now, yes, it is based on what you pay, but there's variances to it. So the average is 50% of what you pay for the year. So if you pay $1,000 for the year, that insurance agent makes $500, right? Now, that seems like a great deal for the insurance agent, right? But that insurance agent is also responsible for your payment for 13 months. So if you cancel that policy within 1 year and 1 month of the day you bought that policy, the insurance company takes $500 from that insurance agent. So let's say 6 months down the line, you decide not to make a payment. They be like, oh, hey, Mr. Insurance Agent, I know you ain't talked to this guy in 6 months, but yoink, we need our money back. Now, that's not your concern, but it's just something that you may want to think about.
Right.
Also, policies lapsing a lot affects things like your insurability in the future, right? It might not be important to you while you're 35, but when you're 59 and you're on your fourth 10-year-old daughter, and now you look at the world differently than when you was 35 and you had a 10-year-old daughter. Right? I actually sat with a guy who this happened with. He's got children who are grown and got their own houses, and he's also got a 10-year-old daughter, but he's 59 years old now. And so the world looks different. So now he wants to do things like leave life insurance and stuff for his next wife. But now he done had heart attacks and all this shit. So now he can't get much insurance, or it's hella expensive.
Yeah, I agree with that, because even with auto insurance, I mean, if you don't have it for 6 months without it, they'll try to give you a quote, and that quote is going to be higher than what it was if you had it already. So yeah, I'm familiar with that as well.
Yeah, that's grandfathered in. I also have my property and casualty license, aka car insurance. So I do that. There's actually a great way you could trick the system and save money on insurance, on car insurance. So I'm gonna teach y'all this right now. It has to do with your limits of liability. This is regardless of if you have liability only or if you have full coverage, quote unquote full coverage. I'll break that down for you in a second. But with your limits of liability, I'm going to use New York State. So New York State minimums are 25, 50, 10. So you guys see these numbers often when you get your quotes, but you probably don't know what they mean. So 25, right? And these are in limits of liability. So what 25 means is that's the maximum that they will pay in the event of an accident or someone outside of your car being injured by your car.
Right.
They'll pay up to $25,000 per person in that incident.
Right.
Slash 50. So what does the 50 mean? The 50 means the same scenario of that 25,000. Any person outside of your car injured by your car, they will pay up to $50,000 maximum for the total of everybody injured in that accident by your car. And then slash 10. What is 10? That means they will pay up to $10,000 for any property that was damaged by your car. Now, when you drive around with state minimums, this is why every 6 months or every year, depending on how you pay your policy, they increase your rates because you are considered an irresponsible insured by the insurance company. I used to own Allstate in East New York. And when they consider you an irresponsible insured, you pay for all of the claims that they have to pay for and all of the what they call subrogation, which is when somebody's underinsured or don't have enough insurance and they got to go sue the other insurance or they pay it out and then they sue the other insurance.
Right.
Right? So the way to trick the system is to get a minimum of 100, 300, 50. Now, what does that do? It immediately increases how much you're paying up front, right? But it decreases your your responsibility, because now they're considered responsible. So they're not going to have to do things like go to frivolous lawsuits, right? Because I'll give it to you like this. I went to the hospital one time for a muscle spasm. They prescribed me a Motrin and they charged me $1,000. So if they charge me $1,000 for a muscle spasm Motrin, how much do you think they charging people for all the injections and stuff they give you after a car accident? $25,000 racks up fast. So when I'm in a car accident, right? Let's say I'm in a car accident with you, Lex, and they hand me the medical bill. I'm gonna look at it and be like, "What? I ain't paying this, yo, Lex. You got to cough up the rest of that money." Well, I ain't got it. Well, I'm going to sue your insurance.
Right.
Well, your insurance is going to be like, well, this is he paid for $25,000. We paid $25,000. Sorry. But now we got to go through all the lawsuit and filing the paperwork and blah, blah, blah to actually do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. It's real tricky out there on that aspect of it.
So if you have 100,000, right, they consider you responsible because up to 100,000 means up to $100,000 per person in the accident injured. The company will pay up to $100,000 per person injured in the accident / 300, meaning that the company will pay up to $300,000 for the total of everybody injured in the accident. This is outside of your vehicle. And they will pay up to / $50,000 for any property damaged by your vehicle. You was going to ask a question, Lex?
No, actually, I was going to say, so it's feasible to say that a lot of people are on the 25, 50, 10 premium on their insurance, pretty much, so to speak.
Correct.
And then with the PIP, which is the PIP is normally what, $1,500, I think is what it normally is. And then you have your deductibles. Most people do the deductible $500 deductible or maybe even $1,000 deductible. So a lot of this information is not really explained. It's explained, but it's not really explained in broader terms, to whereas like you're doing it now, people don't really know the benefits of going about it a different kind of way versus just taking what the insurance company sells you and then you don't do the research on it, and then you're kind of left in limbo. If you have a wreck, they always say, well, the insurance company's gonna pay for so much, and then you're gonna have to cough up this on your deductible portion of it. So this is good information to have to also try to absorb, and then maybe in the long run go back and look at your policy, or whoever's on, just look at the policy and see what it says, so you'll know what direction to go in.
Yeah, you should review your policy at least every 2 years with your agents. And this is all policies: life insurance, car insurance, house insurance, renter's insurance, all of that. Jewelry, fine art. If you got guns, I hope you got insurance on your guns, right? But so with the deductible, actually, that's a good thing to talk about too. So there's another financial advisor I know on the air, JT the Pocket Watcher, who mentioned something that was really great and really smart about your deductible. And it makes total sense, and I don't see why a lot of insurance agents aren't explaining this to their clients, right? But you should try for the high deductible. Why do you want the high deductible? Well, the high deductible makes your monthly premium lower. And what do you pay more often, your deductible or your premium? You pay your monthly premium more often because you pay your premium every month. So if you have a high deductible, let's say it's $2,000 or $5,000, right? Really high deductible. Your monthly premium becomes lower. And the likelihood that you're going to have to pay this deductible is less, especially, if you're a careful driver for the most part, right? So you have the high deductible, and the idea is what you're saving you actually put into savings. So God forbid something happens. Hey, I have this $2,000 here in savings for exactly this if there's an incident and I need to use this deductible. But in the meantime, for the most part, I'm more likely not going to end up spending the deductible, because it's not like some people have 3 and 4 accidents a year, right? But most
Right.
people don't even have an accident once every 2 years. So over the course of 2 years, you're going to save more than the $2,000 that it's going to cost in your deductible up, right? So even if it's $2,500 that you saved over the 2 years, right? So that's a little over $100 a month over the course of 2 years, right? That you put away in savings, right? When you look at it like that, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? So this is why I speak in these types of numbers, because it's things that people have that's doable. Yeah, I talk about my client who put $500,000 away, but he sold a house in New Jersey to do that. Right? Not everybody's going to do that. So,
And
you know,
a lot of people. The biggest thing is when people are giving out the information, like this type of information, it's so crazy that, you're gonna have 1 or 2 people that's gonna sit around and take heed to what's being said. But then when all hell break loose, they gonna be trying to figure out, man, where Alonzo Hall at?
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to definitely come on, because we do get we talk about, Vi, he brings up a lot of topics. Sometimes I may send him some stuff that I ran across, but something like this is educational that we all need. I mean, this is nothing slight of what we all talk about, but stuff like that that's concrete that we all use every day, that we pay for. This is something that we all need to get more educated on, to really see what we're really getting into and what we're not getting out of the policies, the premiums that we pay. Even with, it can be even our electricity bill. We may have somebody who's into marketing electricity. I mean, things like that is privy to us that we always pay for. It's good to have somebody who's on the inside who can give us the game and let us know what's really going on, and then you can decipher what you want to do after that.
And especially with the climate of the world now, with all these mass shootings, anything, man. Honestly, I mean, it's sad to say, but you really ain't safe nowhere.
Not
even in your own home. Yet alone going to work, going out shopping, getting gas in your car, anything, and having these insurance policies. Like you say, you have an insurance policy, a term life insurance policy that you outlive. You pay for it for 10 years and you think you covered for insurance because you done paid it, and the whole time something happened and your family got to be notified that you no longer have insurance. It's just like, it's important. This type of stuff is very important, man. Like on every level, like you said, the car insurance, all of it. I got insight on the insurance because one of my uncles was an insurance provider, and he taught my dad and them how the right type of policy to have, and the policy that you can borrow from if you need, if it's a hardship or something like that, but you have to put that money back into it, different things like that. But I had never heard about that up until that time, and my grandparents paid insurance forever, so.
Nah, I feel you. So, matter of fact, Lex, did you able to pull up the COLI, COLI?
No, actually, I had to step away. Let me see, can I pull it up now, though?
All right, my fault. Plus, I started talking about the car insurance, but again, a lot of this stuff, like, here's the thing. There's not just one policy to have. The wealthy insure one life 7 times. Why is that? Well, because, for example, you can get life insurance as soon as 15 days old. Now, most people who are wealthy get that instead of a Section 529 college savings plan, right? But we're again taught things like a Section 529 college savings plan instead of life insurance. Right? Now, there's reasons for each. Again, these products wouldn't exist if there wasn't reasons for them. So I'm not speaking against getting a 529, but what I'm saying is it's something that you're supposed to use in addition to life insurance. See, people keep thinking about life insurance as a death benefit as opposed to life event insurance, which is what it's about. See, if we call car insurance what it actually is, car insurance is only for car accidents. So it should be called car accident insurance, right? Because again, let's look at that thing, limits of liability. You know, even when you drive around with liability only insurance, you're driving around with life insurance for people outside of your car,
Yep.
right? If you driving down the road and you hit somebody, run them over and kill them, State Farm gonna pay that $50,000 in a death benefit, or what to that one person, that $25,000 in a death benefit.
Yeah, it don't cover you.
It don't cover you. You get into a car and me and you got into a car accident last night, head on collisions, and I didn't have insurance and you did. Well, my family's gonna get that $25,000. But people do this. We're driving around without life insurance and have car insurance, not noticing that they driving around with life insurance for everybody outside of their car but their own family.
Yep.
But again, you want to get a high deductible so that your premium is low and you save the other money on the side so that, God forbid, you get into a car accident and need to pay the deductible, you have the money saved up. But it'll help you in things like when you're trying to buy a house because you'll have money saved up into an account for a while.
Yeah.
What's going on to it?
Yeah, another factor too is but you got your collision and then you got your uninsured motorists too. And a lot of people they feel like some people don't get it, even with the full coverage. I mean, I know with State Farm, I think I've had State Farm for like 20 years. Then I think I had branched off and got with another insurance company, and their premium for uninsured motorists and collision was so high. I said, well, if y'all this high, I might well go back to State Farm, which I was gonna go back anyway. But a lot of people, they feel like just because you have full coverage, all the other branches of the full coverage with the collision, somebody hit your car, uninsured motorist. Somebody hit you in your car, you in the car just sitting down, and somebody hit you and they don't have insurance. That's when the uninsured motorists kick in. But if you don't have it, then you kind of like you stuck out.
Yeah, that's called UIUM, uninsured, underinsured motorist. So besides that, when you were talking about collision, so let's look at full coverage and explain what that is. Usually when you have a car payment or a car lease, they force you to get what they call full coverage. And it's not actually full coverage. What they are fully covering. Say again?
I said it's not actually full coverage because the dealership make you get gap insurance. So that even more so prove that the car is not fully covered.
Exactly.
Well, no, let's forget about the car is fully covered in terms of if something happens to the car, the owner of the car is indemnified, but the owner of the car is the bank or the car dealership, right? The bank, basically, whoever you're leasing the car from.
That's
now
only
here
a certain percentage though. Because if you got a car, right? I mean, it's just something that I just, figured out. Even now, they offer it, right, on the insurance now. When I got my new car a year ago. So they get you full coverage, right? So the bank which gives you the loan for the car, they want you to get gap insurance because the insurance is only going to pay up to so much. So if it's a $35,000 car, the insurance is only going to pay so much. They only going to pay the blue book value of what the car is worth, not what the dealership is selling the car for. So now they say you got to get gap insurance. Okay, so now you get the gap insurance to cover the difference of what the insurance don't pay. car is totaled out. So now the insurance is offering a pay the car off.
Yeah.
It's an option on your insurance now. Now you done got full coverage. Now they got a option on there where you can pay off the remainder
The
of the
full
car.
car. They
Yeah,
had that for a while. State Farm has had that for quite some time actually. I used to work for a State Farm and I used to own Allstate. But gap insurance is also dependent on your like your payments and everything. But what I'm saying is full coverage indemnifies the bank regardless of the gap insurance or whatever. But like you said, yeah, you're not fully covered, right? But what I'm saying is, as far as you, your person, you're not covered. As far as you, the owner of the car, yeah, they cover the value of the car. But here's where it gets deeper, right? So comp and collision covers if something happens to the car, but it basically protects the bank. It doesn't give you any money back if anything happens, which is what I'm saying, right? So how do you get made whole if something happens? If you're in a car accident and you got to go to the hospital, well, there's things called medical payments that you should add on to your car insurance. It's another rider. Yeah, it costs a little more and it makes your premium more, but it will actually kick in. God forbid you're in a car accident, major or minor, and you got to go to the hospital. Instead of you kicking out money to pay for the hospital, the car insurance will kick out money to pay for your hospital stay. They'll pay for you to be in the hospital for a certain amount of days. They'll pay a certain amount of money if you get taken to the hospital through ambulance, right? I know State Farm has these options because I just left working for State Farm about 2 years ago. So I know they have these. I don't know if Allstate has them because I left my Allstate agency about 7 years ago. But about 3 years ago, I stopped working at State Farm. And so I know they have these options. But these are options you need to talk to your agent about. So when they be calling you talking about, hey, I'm trying to do a review, they're not just trying to get a sale. They're actually trying to help you tailor your policy to fit your actual needs. It's not just about driving. So if I get into an accident, my car could get fixed, because people get into accidents and then they got to be on crutches for 6 months. Well, your bills don't stop while you're on crutches. Christmas don't stop while you're on crutches. Thanksgiving don't stop while you're on crutches.
Yeah, they also have another benefit outside of the auto policy. It's called I'm trying to remember what they call it because I had it before. I think it's called, it might be the wrong term I'm using, but I think it has something to do with some kind of type of short-term medical where if you get hurt at work,
laid off, short-term disability.
Yeah, they pay your mortgage up for like 3 years or something like that. I can't think of what you call it though. Kind of like
I call that
after
paycheck insurance.
What is it?
I said I call it paycheck insurance, but what it's called is disability. So with disability, you have short-term disability and long-term disability. Short-term disability lasts up to 24 months. Long-term disability can last up to age 67 and anywhere in between. That's why I say up to. It really depends on how much, how long, how soon. What does that mean? How much means how much monthly disability benefit are you getting? How long means how long are you receiving that monthly disability benefit for? And how soon means how soon do you receive or start receiving your monthly disability benefit. So most people are familiar with the normal 90-day elimination period, which is also known as your time deductible. So your 90-day elimination period, meaning your time deductible, means that you have to be disabled and out of work or unable to work for 90 days, deemed by a doctor. After you've completed your 90 days, only then are you going to trigger your benefit, and should you start receiving a check at day 120. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
All right. So then, how much is, like you said, they can pay certain medical expenses. Now, it may be enough to cover your mortgage, but generally the rule of thumb is a disability policy will pay up to 60% of your take-home income monthly. So if you make $1,000 a month, they'll pay up to $600 a month, right? Now, that doesn't bar you from having multiple policies, which is why it's great to have one from your job, but you also want to have one privately, right? Because, you know, you don't, even though you depend on your job to pay your bills, you don't let your job dictate how your bills are paid, right? So then we shouldn't let our job dictate how we continue our family legacy or what happens if, you know, we get in a pinch, right? Now, if we want to talk about things like retirement and an IRA or a 401k, I can show you ways to beat an IRA or a 401k with a life insurance. See, let's look at a 401k. As of this year, 2022, the max you can fund a 401k with is $20,500. Most Americans can't do that, so I don't usually talk at those numbers. But let's talk big, right? This big vibe, right? So let's talk big, right? So, so the max right now this year is $20,500. The max next year is $22,500, right? But those are the maximums that you can put in, and then it's tax deferred, right? Meaning that you're going to pay income tax on it when it annuitizes or pays out. So, would you rather pay taxes on money today or in the future? And do you think tax rates are going to go higher today? Are they going to be higher in the future than they are today? Or do you think they're going to be lower in the future than they are today? Most people think they're going to be higher. So they do things like a Roth IRA. Again, still limits, et cetera, et cetera. Well, with life insurance, depending on how the policy is set up, you don't have those limits. Now, again, people look at just taking a life insurance policy and borrowing against it and then having to pay it back. But nowhere in there is there a rule that you have to pay it back, which again is why I say the wealthy get one life insured at least 7 times, because they might get 7 policies that they plan on borrowing against but never paying back. But again, you got to look at things in terms of decades, not days. Remember the year 2000? Shit, remember 1999? That feels like yesterday.
Yeah, it does.
We was like, the year 2000, Y2K, everything's going to go computerized shutdown. It went the opposite, right? Everything went computerized fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
To those who remember, to those who don't, I get it, because 2000 was over 20 years ago at this point. But 20 years goes by fast. So think about the interest that grows, compound interest in a life insurance policy over the course of 20 years, if it's set up to if it's funded right, to build proper compound interest. But it's got to be set up the right way, and people don't know how to set those policies up, which is why I say things like buy term, invest the difference is dangerous, and why things like infinite banking is dangerous. But I know how to do both.
Right.
Right? But I can't just tell everybody blanket, hey, buy term, invest the difference. Okay, so I'm struggling to pay $300 a month on the term life insurance, but I'm going to pull another $834 a month out my ass for that investment to make any sense.
I gotta make it gotta make livable sense. I mean, not put yourself in a place where you can't afford to live by trying to, you know, because you gotta live. You still gotta live, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Put yourself in the best financial position as far as life insurance goes too. You know, because you need insurance. You don't want to leave that burden on nobody else.
Yeah, there's bills to be paid when you're gone, and hey, that's how the game go.
In fact, I don't know if you saw the link that I dropped in the back, but that's an article to a gentleman by the name of Dr. Michael Ralph. He is now a professor at Howard University. He wrote this article when he was working at New York University. That article is a link about slavery and life insurance. So the concept of buy term invest the difference came from when they had the life expectancy of a slave, which was between 7 to 10 years. So they would buy a term life insurance policy and invest the difference on a young buck who would be of working age by the time that guy was gone, the original slave.
Wow.
And if he died along the route, they had an insurance policy that would pay the replacement wages of or replacement of what that slave was worth.
Wow.
Click the article, bro. Don't believe me.
It's a cold game.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
click it. As soon as I'm off here, I'm gonna be clicking it. As soon as I get off here in a few minutes, I'm gonna go read that. That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I did find that code you were talking about, the corporate owned life insurance. I did find it. I pulled it up just a minute ago.
Yeah. So this is what happens. Your job gets a life insurance policy on you. You die, your family don't get it. Think about this, right? How easy is it for you? How many people got a job, right? And they got some bitch named Olga as the head of HR department, right? At their job. And you know it takes you forever to get to Olga in the HR department for her to fuck up your time off request. So when you take your week off for vacation, you come back, they like, where you been? You've been like, I went on vacation. I put in the paperwork 3 weeks ago, right? But Olga done fucked up that paperwork. So you going to leave that in the hands, right? You going to leave your death benefit in the hands of her and in the hands of your grieving family who's now supposed to, in grieving, get into your job, know who Olga from HR is, contact Olga from HR, give her the documentation she needs, and she ain't gonna fumble it in a timely fashion to get your family the death benefit. Now, when you look at it like that, it's starting not to make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
But what happens most of the time is it's really there for the benefit of the job, because they got to do shit like pay somebody to train your replacement, pay somebody to find your replacement,
Wow.
pay your replacement.
Wow. A total different perspective right there.
And then you could even look up BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. That's how they fund retirement. I'll give you a clue. Bank of America in 2019.
Got a question.
Yep.
I think we went through it. A minute.
Yeah, we went through that already.
Lavish lady, she just came in. She just came back in the chat, and she had a question.
So we'll get to that in a second. But when you're looking at, you know what I'm saying, the shit, I just lost my track.
We was talking about Olga at the HR.
Oh yeah. So when you leave that up to Olga at HR, it starts to not make sense, because shit is hard enough to get your 401k paperwork from her, or to even learn about your retirement account at your job. Most people don't even know what it's about.
Nuh-uh.
Most people have their retirement account. Sorry, go ahead.
I say you talk about that 401k, man. They had my medical insurance had it. They had switched medical providers, man, and didn't even say nothing to nobody. Like, you go to the doctor, like, oh, you ain't got no insurance. Like, I know I got insurance. You giving them your insurance card. Look, man, I got my insurance card. It says not active. This said, oh yeah, we switched providers. Well, damn. Don't you think y'all should have notified people about that?
They probably sent the letter that got to y'all 30 days later.
Yeah. Not only that, what's so crazy about these companies and these jobs and the insurance policies, going back to the last 5 years, I was tripped out about the fact that them suckers gonna have the nerve to offer pet insurance within your open enrollment, and then if you got married and you wasn't married in the time frame of when you got the insurance on your job, they were honoring the pet insurance before they honor your wife. I'm like, man, y'all, this is crazy.
Well,
This is
that's
crazy.
because pets are so pet insurance is property. So that's why they would
Right.
honor the pet insurance, right? So here's where people get it confused. Like pet insurance isn't a death benefit for if your pet dies, or it is basically pets are considered property. So a
Right.
pet is like a pet would be like getting a car insurance policy. So that's why they honor the pet insurance, because it's something that you own, right? And
Right.
it's your property. That's why they consider that pet insurance. So to answer the lady's question, is permanent or a whole life that you can borrow against. We got to stop looking at policies just for borrowing against them when we ain't paying a certain amount of premium, right? Because that's not what it's for, right? If you paying a couple $100 and you got a small death benefit, then that's what that policy is for, right? We got to stop just looking at it. Oh, I'm gonna borrow against this, not a get rich quick scheme, right? These are investments, right? I'll give you an example. If you look up BOLI, bank-owned life insurance, right? You'll see they should, hopefully they'll put a chart up, but like Bank of America put $6 billion in the stock market and $21.3 billion into cash value life insurance. Right? Why would they put 3 times as much money in cash value life insurance than they did in the stock market?
Because people die.
Well, no, that's because the cash value life insurance is more valuable, more liquid of an asset, and it accumulates faster, also tax free. Right? Go to Google again, bro. Let's put in this MEC, modified endowment contract. Right? It should be on Investopedia, and it'll tell you, it'll break down exactly what a modified endowment contract is. Right? And so what people do is they set up their life insurance policies to be what's called a non-modified endowment contract, right? So what that is the equivalent of is, you know how everybody be like, oh, you can't travel with $10,000, so you'll travel with $9,998, right? So that's what a
modified what?
Modified endowment contract. Just type in what is an MEC, modified endowment contract.
All right.
Right, and y'all, everybody in the chat, our brother Alonzo, he talks about this on his YouTube channel, very in depth, and he has the videos with the charts and all of the good information for you all to see what it is, the different breakdowns of the life insurance and different things like that. So if y'all haven't followed the brother Alonzo Hall, man, make sure y'all get over there and go check his page out. He's a brother out here, putting us up on game about these life insurance policies. And if you do got a life insurance agent that comes out and take your payments, maybe you can start asking them questions on why they haven't discussed these different things with you about this policy that they got you buying into that's not gonna pay off for you in the end, or you just like we talked about having a term 10-year life insurance policy that you outlive and then you end up with no insurance. Like, it's different things. So yeah, go over there and check brother Lonzo out, man. He talks about all this good stuff, which is, like you say, is very important with this life insurance, especially people getting COVID shots and different things like that. I mean, it's a whole it's a lot. It's a lot going on in the world today, man. So,
yeah, people getting shot up at the mall, at the club,
at home,
at home,
it's
at
crazy.
funerals. There's somebody in Chicago the other day shot 15 people at a funeral.
At a funeral now, man.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, how they at the funeral and you shoot 15 people at the funeral?
Man, hey, I can't really speak on it, Lonzo, because I got family members, in Minnesota, man. They like we had a funeral, and just good thing we got, Me and my dad, we went to the funeral and we left right after the funeral because it wasn't about 15 to 20 minutes later. They said, "Oh, these people came shooting at the hearse and everything as the people were leaving the church." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man. The younger generation, man, this younger generation, they really don't have a sense of purpose in life besides kill, man. It's crazy, man. It's destruction at its highest, and now we seeing more GoFundMe's or Cash Apps or motherfuckers selling fish plates and shit because motherfuckers out here living like they living ain't got no life insurance. You know, it's crazy. Like,
Shit is crazy, man. Cause for real, listen, I don't push term life insurance at all. I'm not a fan of it. But worst case scenario, a term life insurance, you can get a big death benefit for a cheap price. So at minimum, we need to be getting term life insurance so that we can at least be covered. And if you get a term life insurance, get a 30-year term, right? Go for broke. Get the most you can. The biggest death benefit. If the most you could pay is $500 a month, then pay $500 a month. And however much $500 a month will get you, get that for 30 years. Lock that in. Now, that's not going to be the only policy you have, but that's going to be the one that locks in your death benefit. You say, well, I'm young. I ain't got no kids, no wife, no house. Good. So get it so that in the future, when you got that stuff, it's already protected. We got to start thinking in decades, not days. We got to be proactive, not reactive.
Facts.
This is how we as a people going to get our own salvation. This is what we're talking about sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother was a Black Panther. Now, she ain't do nothing but stuff envelopes, but everybody got their role. Right? This shit real, man.
It is, man. That's why I say I'm on vacation, and so I don't know what I'm gonna do to State of the Culture. I don't know if I'm gonna just wait until the up and coming Friday to do it. But make sure, man, if you can email me, most definitely email me, and therefore you can get on my notification list. So. And we'll just be able to tackle, on the State of the Culture, how you come in and just tackle. If you can get in, it'll be 9:30 Central Time. It'll be 10:30 Eastern, time.
Right.
So if you can come in and tackle just one specific, category every week, we do our State of the Culture because, as you see, people want to do it. People want to hear it. People want to know the information. We want to make sure that they are being able to understand the information.
Yeah, it's a lot to absorb.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Trust me, I know.
And me being out of town, I'm not able to do like I want to. This is my last night here with my son. So we finna go out and have some more fun tonight, and then tomorrow, I'll back travel. So. I know they've been studying. They've been study coming to the door. You still online yet?
Oh man, all right.
But nah,
I need to go get me.
I had to come on. I had to come on because I haven't been on none this week. So due to me coming, taking a trip out of town. So, but I want to make sure people want come on, touch bases with everybody, let everybody know I'm still here, and I'm glad to see you on it. I'm glad to see you come in because you came in right at time. That's why this was an open discussion. Like you say, a lot of people are here and they are listening to the information that you're giving, and we want to make this life insurance something that we talk about every time. We come on the State of the Culture. We gonna how the importance of it. And the benefits of it. No more. Put jars in stores and GoFundMe's and selling fish plates and all that can be prevented.
Well, listen, like I said, it's even more. I talk about life insurance because that's the foundation, right? That's us digging a hole in the ground and pouring concrete. I can do way more than that, but I have to talk on that concrete level because most of us don't have the foundation. So we talk about stuff like investments and stuff, and it's on wobbly ground, and we wonder why we ain't gotten nowhere in the last 30 years.
Hey, Lonzo, drop your channel, your channel in the chat. They asking what's your channel. I know it's Lonzo Hall.
Geez, what is my channel? Hold on, let me share. All right, hold up. Let me copy the link. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go to YouTube and drop it. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat. All right. Here we go. There we go. So I just dropped it in there. Yeah, man, but like I said, man, I have clients who we've done retirement accounts. I have a client who I'm working with who's got another pension of over $250,000, right? I got a client who's got I rolled over my mother-in-law's retirement account and she retired from Morgan Stanley, right? So I can work with these accounts, but people have to have their foundation in place before we can really go to the next steps. And most people don't have their foundations in place, right? Like I said, most people who even have their license aren't aware of even the certain products or services we can sell or offer. Right? I've spoken to agents who be like, oh no, the most death benefit we could sell is $35,000. What? So those are guaranteed issue, right? Those are whole life though. Those are the whole life policies that you see that come on the Colonial Penn commercials with Alex Trebek, right? I'll give you an example. My own grandmother has one. And you got to be careful with life insurance because life insurance doesn't have a high propensity to pay out. Only 26% of life insurance policies in existence pay out. That's not a high number. Now, there's reasons for that, which we'll go into. A lot of those reasons are because people cancel them. And another reason is because people don't tell their beneficiary that they're a beneficiary, right? So like people get a death benefit and then don't tell their family that they got life insurance. So then when you die, it ain't like I'm gonna come looking for you like, hey, your granddaddy died, here's some money. No, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, the payment stopped, we gonna cancel policy.
Right. What about another thing that I learned before I'm gonna say this before we get ready to close out is I had an uncle pass away and he had 2 children, but his children lived in another state. And he received benefits and things from the state, but when he died, he had all his money and everything was in the bank. But when he died, his kids came up and they tried to go to the bank and try to see what was going on with his accounts and stuff. And the bank told him that they couldn't access it because he didn't have no beneficiary over his bank account. So there's another thing that I'm not sure if a lot of people understand. If you got money in banks, if you deal with banks, you need to make sure you have a beneficiary over your bank account in case something happened to you, that somebody will be able to go get your money. Because if not, I want to say the bank tellers to just split it down the middle, but they say
you're not lying. Actually,
they claim it goes. Yeah. They claim it go back to the state, but
no, so that's actually what happened. So like what happens is that's called dying intestate. That's INTESTATE, right? And what that means is dying without a will. So even when you get life insurance, the job ain't done. You still need to sit with an estate planning attorney and get a will and final testament. The reason you need an actual will look at people like Chadwick Boseman. Like you said, the bank just split it down the middle. They say go back to the state. Look at it like this. Chadwick Boseman died without a will, the Black Panther. When he died, the state took $1.5 million to decide who got the rest of his money. And they gave his mother $1.1 million and they gave his wife $1.1 million. But they kept $1.5 million for themselves for deciding who got the rest of his money. So it's important to have a will and final testament for things like other assets. That's why when you went to Life Happens Calculator, it asks about your other assets, because things like life insurance can protect you from, like your cousins went through what's called probate. So, I got $1 million in the bank. Well, I died. Well, I got a $2 million life insurance policy. So don't worry about that $1 million that's tied up in the bank, because you got this $2 million is guaranteed to come to you tax free, and you don't have to worry about it being tied up in probate. But I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, man, I'm sorry for hijacking. But I guess it's cool because it's an open panel, so we was talking about anything anyway.
Hey man, one thing about it over here, like Lex said, and anybody that comes on this channel, man, I try to make this channel for the people, for the culture, and I mean life insurance, all this stuff is for the people, man. It's for the benefit of the people. So, either they want to listen to it or they don't want to listen to it. Knowledge is power. You heard Kyrie say, he used to wonder why they say you want to hire something from a black person, put it in a book, and he never understood that until he was 30 years old. He realized that reading was a superpower. So what Alonzo is doing, he's taking the reading part away from it and telling you all about this. And when what he's speaking should intrigue you to want to go and research and figure out more about this stuff. He's not telling you to take his word for it. Everything he speak, he say, Lex, go to your computer, Google this. Tell me what do it say. So Lex is not the only one that can Google this information that he's giving out. We all can Google this information to get more clarity on it. And if it's something that we're not understanding, we got to take advantage of having a brother like Alonzo, over here in this sector to be able to break down the terminology, because that's what is mostly, that's the biggest misconception that we have with these contracts is the terminology. So we salute brother Alonzo for breaking down the terminology of these contracts.
Yeah, brother, it was nice gaining that knowledge from you. I know some of the stuff I knew about, but there was a lot of nuances there into it that I didn't know thoroughly about. So I'm glad you were able to come over here and share some of the knowledge, so we all can gain something from it and learn from it and probably pass it on to the next person, because a lot of people, they don't per se live. They live in the moment. They don't live in what's down the road, because you can look down the street for so far and there may be a curve or it may be something blocking it. And so it's good to try to always have another pair of eyes, another pair of ears to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. We work so hard, and we be looking to see some of our people in these places that we're not used to seeing our people in these different positions. But now that we're living in a time where our people are being put in position in these places that we once wasn't able to sit in. So now we have to take advantage of those opportunities of people who sit in their positions that we once wasn't able to sit at the table and hear about this insurance shit that we just catching on to. These other racial groups, they've been on this.
Yeah, man, like the Jews, man, listen, these brownstones in Brooklyn that's millions of dollars, what they do is as a family, they'll come together, right? And they'll get a big life insurance policy on the oldest person in the family. Let's say it costs $1,000 a month for a $3 million policy on, Uncle Yitchnell, right? So 10 of them will get together and put up $100 a month. That equals $1,000 a month, right? And then they know that Uncle Yitchnell is going to die in the next 10 years because he's 88 years old right now, right? So, I mean, it ain't a guarantee, but the likelihood is there, right? So, in that, the house is only $1 million, and the 10 of them are going to split up the other $2 million and have the cost of the house, completely being paid off.
Wow.
And then they just rinse and repeat.
It makes sense, but a
They
lot
call
of
it the world.
yeah, it makes sense, but a lot of our people are so fixated on give me, and give it to me now, to where they're not thinking about the long run and they don't want to go through the long haul I'm not gonna say the pain, but they don't want to go through the nuances of, hey, this is what may happen 10 years down the road. So let's all stick together and pool our money together for something greater versus you might have 5 people who think that way and the other 5, well, I won't mind now. I don't want to indulge in that. So that's where the disparity comes in at. So if we can get a lot of people thinking on that same level, we'll be as a whole, we'll be better for our generation. But at this stated time, it's not like that.
I know we got to start looking at it like this. You want to feel the pain now or later? Because what
Right.
ends up happening is we want to feel the pain later and we want to feel the good now. And what ends up happening, and here's what I tell people, because a lot of financial advisors will tell you, don't buy Jordans, just buy the Jordan stock, which is the stupidest financial advice in the world, right? If you just buy the Jordan stock and don't buy the Jordans, then the Jordan stock becomes worthless. What I tell you is this: if you're a person who buys 4 pairs of J's a month, don't buy 4 pairs of J's a month, buy 3 pairs of J's a month. And what you would spend on that 4th pair of J's, spend with me a month. And I'll make sure that you can buy 3 pairs of J's a month every month for the rest of your life, as opposed to buying 4 pairs of J's a month for the next 3 summers. Which would you rather do? Buy 3 pairs of J's a month every month for the rest of your life, or 4 pairs of J's a month for the next 3 years?
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
like people think family trying to kill them off if you talk what else. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You hear that from time to time. People worried about you trying to kill me and this and that or the
But see, as dude, like with these other races, they know when they know their life expectancy. They know when it's almost time to kick the bucket. So they telling their kids and grandkids to invest this money and do this so y'all can be set off like this when I leave here. It's nothing but us, boy. We value the life more than we value anything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't give a damn. But the thing about it is we don't value the life until we in the hospital. They tell us they can't get our blood, or they tell us that, this is going on or that's going on, and now you in the hospital like trying to figure it all out. But when you was walking around here free, you didn't give a damn about none of these health things.
Yep. Another thing, you got family members. Even though you have a will per se, you have a will and it's laid out. And then when it's all said and done after the funeral, no soon as the repast go, they fighting over the money, and then you like, well, God, dog, we got a wheel out. Everybody know they're supposed to get, but you got some people in the family still fighting over what they supposed to get. I mean, God, leave. What's wrong with you?
My grandma took, I don't know what it was, but my grandma, she must have knew something was coming, because she drew down all her shit. She drew down all her money. She drew it all out. and she hit it. She hit it. She drew all her insurance policies, everything. And
That's funny.
she had like 3 different insurance policies, and 2 of the insurance policies that she took to check the money out of, she had never even cashed the checks.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, see, now that's why life insurance is dangerous too. Like even whole life, right? Like I'll give you my grandmother for an example, right? She's a senior, so when, like I said, when you get like those Colonial Penn policies, those are whole life. So technically, they do build cash value, but they build cash value very, very slowly, and they're very expensive policies because they issue to anybody. Like you could be in any health, whatever, right? But for example, my grandmother had, and I've been licensed for about 15 years, so she should have came to me, but you know, it happens that way. So she went and got her Colonial Life Penn policy. That's $55 a month, right? So she pays $660 a year. She's had the policy for the last 11 years. So she's paid $6,600 to the company for this policy. But the death benefit is only $5,000. Now, the cash value is nowhere near $5,000. She probably got maybe $1,000 to $2,000 worth of cash value in the policy. But it's the way that these policies are set up that makes cash value or whole life insurance seem unattractive. And now she should cancel the policy at this point in her life because we ain't gonna get no more than $5,000, but she's still paying the policy. Now it don't make sense. She should cancel it and use that money to play her numbers. But on the flip side, we could think of it like this, because we also don't look at things like this. When family dies, right? This is another reason for bigger insurance policies. We don't think about shit like family coming to the funeral, right? I'll give you an example. Recently, I had an uncle who died in South Carolina. I wanted to go to the funeral, but we had to pull money out of the 401k so my wife could go. Because it was like, hey, Uncle so-and-so died. We got the funeral next week. Okay. Thanks for springing that on us. It's rent this month, and I got to go grocery shopping and the rest of my bills. I ain't got an extra $1,000 for a ticket in 2 days to fly to South Carolina to go to this funeral that I want to go to.
Right.
You know, so people can't be selfish and think, well, I ain't got no wife and kids. I don't need no life insurance. What about the people that love you that want to come to your funeral?
Right.
Yeah, you're right about that.
This is messed up if I got to go on my 401k.
Yeah,
and take down the house.
I showed up me big time when I got up there.
Huh?
I say, you sure owe me big time once I get up there. Check the pocketbook with you.
Fat. And be like, yo, you owe me, yo. I need this the rat back.
Hey man, niggas gonna be one in heaven arguing about who owed them $5 when they were dying on earth.
Yeah.
Fat. Be like, nah, he owed me $5. Word.
Yeah, you got people be arguing. They be arguing at the funeral while the funeral service is going on. I'm like, this sucker say he gonna give me this and he gonna give me that, and he promised me and he promised me that.
But it's real life, man. But I enjoyed y'all brothers, man, most definitely, man. But the kids is getting answered, man. So I enjoyed the conversation, brother Lonzo. I put your link in there and sent people over your way. So I know you be doing lives as well. So hopefully people get over there and catch what you got going on, man, because this is some real good information, and hopefully we start seeing a change in people getting insurance policy, especially understanding the type of insurance policy we should be investing in and not wasting our money, because we don't have as much time as we think we have. So we need to make every dollar we spend count for something, you know, and not just waste it towards a policy that, you know, just gonna evaporate. So
Yeah.
you guys can close out, brother Lex, brother Lonzo. Y'all can close out, and next time, like I say, brother Lonzo, you got the email right? It's going across the bottom of the screen. The
Yeah, I
email.
sent you an email already.
Okay. All right. So we can catch up on the email, and I'm gonna let you close out, and then brother Lex, and then we gonna get up out of here for the day. But I really want to appreciate you guys for coming and stopping by and chopping it up with me. You know, it wasn't no special occasion today, but you know what? You know, it's been a blessing to have this type of information displayed today on the live. So hope everybody in the chat really really listened in and, you know, took heed to it. I know it was a lot, but we're gonna break it down for y'all and slow it down to where y'all understand you know, each policy by, you know, within itself. So until next time, there you go, brother Lonzo.
All right. Well, I'll close out like this, like I normally do. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Get your slice of the pie. Productivity is entertaining. And remember, folks, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.
All right, brother Lonzo. All right, brother Lonzo, and Big Vibe once again, man. Appreciate you having me on. Like always, salute to you and the channel and the chat, everybody that's on. And there's nothing wrong with receiving new information because we haven't been privy to this information upon us. We always keep getting pretty much the same information. Some of it is factual, but a lot of the times we don't always do the research thoroughly to see what's going on to get the intel on it. So I would say once again, this was a good, informative conversation that we had today. And I welcome a lot of people to come on if they have anything that they're privy to share that information with amongst us, not just hold it to yourself because we all trying to grow as a people. So again, Big Bye, once again, salute to the channel, salute to the chat, and I'm looking forward to having another discussion pretty soon.
Most definitely, we gonna go up. You know, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. We're gonna have to do a double state of the culture. How we gonna do it? But we most definitely gonna come back with it. And you know, bring brother Lonzo back with the life insurance tip. You know, it's very important. All this is good information, and y'all already know. Lavish lady, sorry for your loss. We praying for, you know, pray God give you strength. You know, strength for your whole family as well. You know, losing a loved one is not something that just, you know, it's not an easy feat to just get over. You know, but you know, with God and the strength of God and the help of God, you know, He can help us understand it. And like I like to say, 5 rules to living a happier life. Number 1, love yourself. Number 2, do good by others. Number 3, harm no one. Number 4, be positive. And number 5, always forgive. But guess what? We'll never forget. And that's it. That's all. That's love. Love is the way. Love is the key. Love is the only thing that's going to separate us from the rest. That's it. Until next time, everybody in the chat, y'all be blessed. My brother Lex, much love. My brother Lonzo, much love. Until next time, man. See you all later.
Peace, brother.
Peace.